I can.
bet. I was having trouble trying to get this shit on my PC.
No, I know. And just let everybody know. Just first of all, accept the co-host, so that way you can bring people up that you want to bring up. And if anybody's brought up that's like being disruptive, you can cancel them out or whatever. You can mute them. You can mute the chat. If you're trying to say something and people are being loud, you could just get rid of them. So I want to be able to.
Oh, okay.
I want you to be able to do that. I'm recording on YouTube. I'm not going live because I know you're going live. So I want you to promote your thing. So just let everybody know if they want to view from your stream live where they can view it.
Yeah, if y'all want to see me live, it's gonna be the same conversation, but you see like my actual reactions because I know Fee's gonna say some clown shit. So go to Yay Not 2K on Twitch. Yeah, that's YEYNOT 2K on Twitch. And then we gonna be checking chat from both sides, two feeds, right? You able to pull up the comments?
I'm not going live. I'm just recording. I'm just recording, and I'm going to post it later. So I'm not going to have a chat. You can have a chat
Oh,
if you got anybody that's asking questions from your chat. You can bring it on. You know what I
okay.
mean? That's you can do that. But
Are
I'm
you
like I said, I don't want to
are
go
you on your
live.
PC or your phone?
I'm on my phone is connected. I have a mixer, so that's how I do my
Okay.
podcast and everything. So everything that comes in through the phone, I can hear in the mixer.
Oh, okay. Because the way I got it set up is like whenever somebody comments on the comment under your post on Twitter, like I can see it will update live in the spaces thing.
You're
So
gonna
if
have to
somebody has any questions,
you're gonna have to show me how to do some shit like that because that's like some next level. That's some next level shit
uh,
right there for sure.
yeah. So if you're in this space and you might have a question, go to the Staten Island 2K Twitter page and post a comment underneath that most recent spaces post, and it should be able to pop up for us.
Yeah, I can see them too. And every time they post it, I can see it there. So if they have a question, and I see it on my phone, I can do it from there. But so listen, before we get like started, like questions and stuff like that, why don't you take some time out to like there's gonna be a lot of people here that what's it called? I guess he got jumped over here. Let me give you the co-host invite again. So for y'all
My
who are
fault. I can't refresh.
oh sorry. So for y'all who are just tuning in, man, my man Ye he does the 2K database. Um, I guess you're a 2K league former champ in the 2K league. You also you do a lot of scouting. So before we get started with the question, we're gonna go over everything like the leagues, especially, and the players and the point system. But before we do that, just take a moment to explain to some. There's gonna be a lot of guys from SIBA that really don't know you that are tuning in. Explain to them who you are, what you do, what motivated you to do these lists, what the goal is, and just explain what goes into like factoring everything, like how you go about like creating it and how you grade people.
Gotcha. So let's kind of start with a little background. I played 2 seasons in the NBA 2K League for Knicks Gaming. Won the championship my first year along with the ticket tournament. Season two, got to a couple Final Fours, but that's pretty much the most of it. Didn't get drafted back in. Did some content creation for the league for a couple seasons, and then I got brought on as a coach for Pacers Gaming as of last year, assistant coach. But what I'm doing now, and I did a little bit of this pre-draft last year. Going into the season, I kind of discontinued it because I focused all my attention on the Pacers. But with the 2K database, the whole goal on this was kind of bring motivation to players to uh, have motivation to keep playing the game and be seen by the people who are like casuals in the game or like maybe some guys who aren't getting enough notice start to get some appreciation. It was made for everybody to kind of get a fair shot at getting exposure. So what I did is try to get as many people names at whatever position that they desire to play as possible. Last year pre-draft we're at about like 185 players per position. That it was super tough to keep track of just because I try to do Final Fours, but and we were limited on capacity in terms of like amount of people we had working on it.
Right.
So I was able to get a few guys together. We have like a scouting team of about 15 guys last year that came together and made tiers based off leagues and then players. We just kind of did like a top 10 to top 25 list, so that we updated like every 6 weeks or so. Pretty much like whenever the new season dropped on the retail copy is when we dropped the new like lists of what players wasn't pre-draft. And but this year it's a little bit different. I still got a few guys kind of helping me out on this. But instead of doing like the top 25, top 10 players, just because at the end of the day it's all subjective, just try to do like a tier system based off the talent pool. Uh, so when I started the list going into post draft, the reason I wanted to do post draft this year is just because last year's post draft was dead, bro. Like it wasn't really a lot going on. Nobody was really doing a lot of talking. It was the same couple teams playing. It was like Spicy Boys, Liquid, and after that, we didn't really know who was hot. I think this what the database does is give one a lot more motivation to people to play post draft, and then like people actually find a reason to load the game up, and two, get more exposure to the leagues that might be under the radar that nobody really knows about. So that's why we started the tier system for both the players and the leagues this time. Um, I know you're gonna want to have questions about this. I know a lot of the SIBA has a strong opinion on how the list goes, and a lot of players are buzzing about it, making their own list. But right now, it's just a preliminary stage. So a lot of went into it is just getting a starting point for everybody to kind of start at, right? So it doesn't mean that like anybody can move up and move down, or they can't move up and move down. That opportunity is going to be able to present itself. Is going to be based off a few things. So one being consistency, two being when it comes to leagues at least being consistency. How often are you guys holding tournaments or holding leagues? Two, the talent pool that enters your league. Three, the amount of the pot that goes into it. And those are being like the three biggest things. And four, like the amount of respect that you might have garnered throughout the community. And when it comes to players, it's all pretty much going to be about winning the game and how well you play in those said games. So if there's a guy where he might be listening, but I'm gonna pick on him a bit. If DM me, I don't take any disrespect from this, but juice effect. So as you see, Tunnel Vision from last year, like end season had that big run in the tournament where they won in UPA,
Right.
and Juice was averaging like four a game. So like somebody who's gonna be winning in those type of teams, if they're winning a lot but they're not performing as well, they won't move up in tier with their teams. But if there's a player that nobody's really talking about and they're winning a bunch, I'm like they're gonna move up in tier. So like I said, right now just preliminary stage. I haven't seen a lot of these players play in pre-draft, so forgive me on that. So if I'm missing players, also I went off of memory and a couple names that people gave me, so I'm missing good players that I didn't put on lists. And there's also like players that might have I've known for a while that kind of pick up the game and drop it for a while that I put on there. So I'm getting criticism left and right, which is understood. But like I said, it's just preliminary stages of everything.
Well, listen,
But
even criticism, it's attention. You know, like I mean, I don't even see it as like when you make these lists, like you want people buzzing. You even want the criticism because I mean,
yeah.
what's worse than criticism is nobody interacting with it at all.
That's a fact. That's a fact. I mean, I always allow that too. Like I listen to what people have to say. Some words are more rooted in hate than others, but I like both sides of the coin still get heard, and like I take everything with a grain of salt at the end of the day, and then I got a few people that I really trust, and I listen to the words they say, and I take it and I really consider it when I make decisions. So it's just not me standing alone on all this. There's a group of us. The reason I don't really put the names out there just because I haven't really came to them and asked if they want to like put themselves in the limelight, in the line of fire. So I'm just kind of taking all the bullets right now. But it is a couple people behind the scenes helping me out.
All right, cool, man. And it seems like making lists like it's easy content. It's an easy way to get interactions. You see a lot of people doing it. They're very popular. It's like a quick way to to start getting like viewers and stuff like that. Like for example, like you announce you're making a list, right? So you're gonna have about
Mm-hmm.
40 to 50 people that are gonna tune in just off the fact that they feel like their name's gonna be called. They're gonna have their name put up on the screen on like a mock draft or a tiered list or whatever. So they're gonna tune in right off the bat. Then you get another like 20 or 30 people that are gonna tune in because those people are on there, right? Like they want to see their boys in it. And then when it starts to generate some intention stuff like that, especially on Twitter and Twitch, you're gonna have 15 to 20 others just jumping in because they want to see what the fuck the fuss is all about, right? So right off the bat, you
Mm-hmm.
start making a list. You start doing tiers. You see them. I see them all over Twitter now. Like they're just an easy way to just get a stream of like an hour and a half where you get like 80 to 110 viewers, and just turn nothing into like just some sort of content, So
Mm-hmm.
it's cool to make. I have no problem with the list. I know I believe that like when you're making content, you just got to give the people what they want. You know what I mean? Like you take a
Right.
look at what people are tuning into and stuff like that, and I mean, I think it's good content. I think what you're doing is good and stuff. I got a lot of questions. We're gonna get into those, 100%, especially with the league tiers. I can't wait to sink my teeth into that. But like, before we get into that, I just want to like go over the players and stuff like that, like how you rank the players and everything. So like quickly,
Gotcha.
just 60 to 90 seconds, just like explain what goes into like how you rank the players from platinum all the way to bronze.
Just in general, or just like certain players that you had in mind?
No, just in general, like what does it take for you to be a certain tier?
Gotcha. So when I was going over the tiers, I'm trying to pull it up on my end too. There's a few people that moved around that I didn't repost yet. What everything was based off is what I've seen, how I've seen players perform in the past, and or how have I played against these certain players or played with them, how they performed, along with what who's buzzing and who like is kind of in the finals games and some of the players that some of my guys might reach out and tell me about. So when I made these lists, the hardest ones, I swear that the hardest differentiator was like platinum and gold. It's like who's the top 10 in each position, and I had a lot of difficulty deciphering that. So I kind of just guessed when it comes to platinum and gold. But like the silver, when it came to silver and bronze players, a lot of people in bronze are like players I just didn't know anything about. I might did
Right.
a little bit of research. I looked up their like their Twitter accounts and saw some screenshots they were in, maybe a couple clips that they were in, and like I'm not recognize the players on their roster. So I was like, okay, I don't know this guy. I don't know who he's playing with. Seems like they're not really any finals appearance, or they have like very little games played. I'm like, so I'll throw him in bronze and then see what he does from there. Or when it comes to silver, silver was a kind of a weird spot, just because it was some guys that people thought were just trash and they were in silver, and some guys people thought were really good that should have moved up. So I did the same research I did with those guys in bronze. If I didn't really know them, I looked to see what they play with. I'm like, okay, they play with some decent guys, but I haven't seen them with my own two eyes, so I'm gonna throw him in silver. Or like, he's not really any finals run, so I'm gonna throw him in silver. Or if it's a couple guys where I'm like, man, I haven't seen this cat play, but it looks like he's dogging like some good competition based on screenshots, based on clips, based on like I'm scrolling for like months or a month or two back on his feed. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna throw him in gold and see what people say about him. So that's a route that I was taking when making the list. And like I said, it's all preliminary. It's all just a starting spot.
Well, you got a lot of hate on it, and you're not the only one because I've been, you know, quite opinionated about it.
Mm,
When the list came out, especially for the players, right? So I
right.
mean, I take a look at the players. I'm always gonna, go balls to the wall for my guys, who play in SIBA and everything. So I mean, I took a lot of heat for making comments saying like, "Yo, everybody in the platinum list, just knock them down to silver because I don't recognize their names. I haven't seen them load up in SIBA. I don't like." And me personally, like, I get it. I understand. You know, there's a whole world outside of SIBA. There is. But at the same time, I feel like this league now is at the point, and not to just get it because I'm going to get into the leagues after, but just as far as like the players go that play here, that play in SIBA that aren't even on the lists, right? I feel like if you don't play in this league, right? I'm not listen. A couple of years ago, maybe, right? But nowadays,
Mm-hmm.
we had Dayfry here. We just had U-Bots here play against DJ and Spammy in the finals. We had Sickington here, Killy, Trey Dollars can't guard. Rob won the 30,000 and the UPAs. They got swept in the playoffs here, and they had Spam 1 of 1 as their point guard on that team too. So it's like we have a lot of like heavy competition here now. There's a lot of really great players here. There's 40 teams at the pro level, so it's not like there's just 12 or 14 teams where you know there's not that much competition to get to the playoffs. Like there's 40 teams, right, at the pro
Mm-hmm.
level, and not everybody makes. Only 24 out of the 40 make the playoffs. There's 16 teams that don't go. So the regular season here matters. It counts, right? If you got all the and that's my thing. Like when I get into leagues, I'm going to bring that up. How a lot of the like every single league you have except ours has a meaningless regular season. Like nobody shows up for them. Nobody cares to play them. I used to sponsor a team, OPM. None of my guys wanted to play regular season. They had guys loading up on their accounts just to get the like a certain amount of qualified games for like WR and MPBA just so they can be in the. Nobody really cared about playing regular season games or what their seed was in the playoffs because they knew that their starting five is going to be there when the money counts, right? But SIBA's different. Our regular season does matter. If you have players that just like I don't really load up in the regular season, the team's going to suffer. The team's going to suffer. You may not make it at all, and it's going to impact your legacy. And I believe like the people that take it serious and have good regular seasons here, and they're the teams that go on and have strong playoff runs. Like because of that competitive aspect, I feel like if you don't play here, there's no way in hell. And I don't care what your resume is because that's another thing I'm going to ask you. Like the player
Mm-hmm.
ranks, is that based on like history all time or just like recent history, like right now, like what they did in pre-draft, this year and what they're doing now? Or like, are you taking like their whole body of work from when they started pro am?
There is a couple people I won't lie that I'm a little bit biased about, like guys like Splashy. I just believe that Splashy, he's just so talented. Where if he picks up the game today, I think he's like a platinum level like player. Now, take like I understand like it's like when people say don't put him on there because he hasn't played the game. In terms of pro am, I get it. It's one of those things where I was just thinking of point guards, and I was just like, all right, I'm gonna go Splashy in there because if he picks up the game tomorrow, he's not on the list. I'm like,
Right.
I look like a jackass. I'm gonna just throw him on there, and then if he don't play for 6 weeks, then we can take him off. So easy as that. But to answer your question though, um, body of work not so much, but some of it is a little bit of recency bias, and a little bit is like I've seen what these guys done in the league, and they might not get drafted, or they were in the combines and they made a run in pre-draft and they didn't get drafted, or along with like the unretained guys. So I just threw them in like high tiers, like whether it be platinum or gold. And so there's a couple guys I had that were in the league. I threw in silver too as well, just because like they played at the highest level. Some of these guys are in FIBA.
Right.
Like they played at the high, they played at the highest level. So why wouldn't they be able to take a step back in the amateur pro am team and still compete at a high level? So it wouldn't make sense to put like somebody who had a poor season in the league and came back to pro am and not be able to do what got him drafted in the first place. It just didn't make sense to me. So I was like, I'm gonna put him in a high tier at least to start.
Well, because you say it's preliminary, I kind of like understand and say, all right, listen, some of these guys, well, all these guys that are in platinum, I've never seen them in SIBA before. I don't feel like they belong there. But then again, it is preliminary. So as long as
Mm-hmm.
like, do you see like that kind of shifting? Like if you don't see these guys playing, and one thing I do love about you, like don't get me wrong, I'm not here to bash what you're doing at all. I love what you're doing, right? I just have some opinions about like where SIBA fits in. But like overall, I
Mm-hmm.
think what you're doing is great. And one of the things I absolutely love that you did is you said no overnights and middays. Like that's fucking amazing. I've been saying that shit on my spaces and my streams for like months now. Like I feel like what you do in these overnight and middays, like, and no disrespect to them at all. Those tournaments, I think they're fun, but like some of them are like 5, 6 team tournaments played in one night. You're just throwing some random players together. Like I've seen teams sub in and out during the night because somebody couldn't play anymore. Like it's just so unorganized. It's just like a quick payout, but something fun to do at night when you got nothing like structured or serious going on. But like I just love the fact that you're not including those. Like why did you feel like you can't include overnights and middays?
Just because, in my opinion, in my old head opinion, I think it kind of ruined like the fun of pro am. I'm like the back when I kind of came up, take this journey down this old head road here. But
How old are you now? You
back
calling yourself an old head?
I'm 30. I'm 32. I'm
Yeah.
32. So
I wish I
when I
was
was
that
kind of
young again, bro.
when I was
I'll be
coming into the
42 in
community, man.
April, bro. I'll be 42 in a couple
Damn.
months. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you owe me for real, for real. Now when I was coming in the community, everybody kind of stuck with one roster, and there's only a handful of leagues that were going on, and you got your regular season games, and you were grinding the pro am rankings on the retail, and I mean, and everybody kind of you knew when you loaded up against a certain team, you knew it was on that roster
Well,
before looking at
let me ask you
the
this.
box score.
Let me ask you this about that. How long? What years were that when you were running in, pro am and stuff like that? Like, what years are we talking about?
I started taking it serious in 2K17, so
And
I would say
what year did the 2K league start? Like, what year?
it was 2K18. Like that's when
So
so it was announced
I think you
2K17
have
post.
your answer right there. I think that you know, and it's an easy. I'm not going to sit here and defend overnight. I don't work for Hoff or I don't know Danger personally. I'm not going to sit here and defend them and go to bat. But like I think that like a lot of people pick on the overnights and middays. It's an easy target to blame what's wrong with pro am. But I feel like you just said it yourself. Back before the 2K league was here, like this was everything to guys. Like this is how you made your money. This is how you made your name in the game. And all of a sudden, when the 2K league came out, slowly but surely, like it started to become like, well, what can you do for me? Like, not what I can do for my team and my brand. Like, I'm sorry, guys, but like, I know we usually used to lose together and build, but hey, I got a shot to go to the 2K League. I'm gonna bounce on you guys. Go to this next team that's on fire because if I don't win this qualifying tournament, or if I don't win every league tournament, if I don't win UPA, if I don't do that well, I'm not gonna get scouted. So I think like once the 2K League came out with the whole carrot on the stick thing, I think that spelled doom for the type of community that you were talking about. Because back then, like you said, in 2K17, from what I understand, of what I hear, it's like this was your league. You know what I'm saying? Like you guys had a brand, you
Mm-hmm.
had pride. If you guys took your L's, you took your lumps, you went back to the drawing board, you stuck it out. But when there's a whole entity, like backed by the NBA, and they're paying for you to play this game, right? And it means a career move. Like there was more focus on like the individual. You know what I'm saying? It's not like yo the team doesn't. It more became of like what brand are you? Can you get me to the league? Like oh it's Liquid. Oh they got
Mm-hmm.
the pipeline. Oh I'll go there. Oh you're Spicy Boys. You win everything. You just sent 3 guys to the pros. Oh I'm gonna go play for you guys. And like they're just not loyal to the people that they were playing with before. Once they hit a certain level as an individual.
No, I wholeheartedly agree, and some of that I kind of understand, but like, it's a way I kind of look at it. You are you familiar with like soccer or like well football like overseas, like how like the fan bases are over there?
I know they're crazy about
How,
it. I know, I know, I
yeah,
know, I know. If you score your own goal, you can get killed. I've seen stories like that.
right. Yeah, it's so many things where like it's such deep rooted loyalty for like the name in front of the jersey that like it's just not respected in sports anymore. A little bit comes from like the AAU culture that like the NBA players kind of bitch about. With like the new cats that are all friends, nobody's really in like competition anymore. They
Right.
just don't want to look bad. They don't really care about being the best. They just don't want to look bad. It just seems like that's kind of direction that like this basketball culture has kind of went. And I kind of understand like how people want to get a quick buck, so they want to hurry up and play mid day or OBS. But in terms of like the flavor of pro am, it just kind of it's just all watered down now. It's like it's just so many tournaments and leagues and like getting back to the point where like players can load up with like a dedicated five. At the beginning of the year, and when you see those roster reveals, like and all those roster reveals, kind of like hold strong again. Like I think that's what the
Those are the
direction
funny. Those are the
I'm
funniest
trying
things
to
in the
push.
bro. Those roster reveals are the funniest thing in the world now. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
Now that I've been in the community for like the better part of 4 years now. Like I see that shit and it's funny to me. Like I mean listen. I'm not part of that side. I do my league. I see like the 2K community and like the SIBA community really is two separate entities because you know you take a look at like everything else that's out there. Like I said again, we're the only league that has a regular season that matters, right? We're the only league where it's like the NBA. Like you're gonna have teams, and you're gonna have teams in the NBA like the Pistons and the Wizards. They're terrible, right? But their players still show up every game, right? It's not like you can't get the Pistons to load up in the gym because their team sucks. Like they're going out there taking loss after loss until all 82 games are played. That's how this league is. Like if you're on a bad team, you're showing up all season. Trust me, it was difficult for me to get into that part. It took sometimes 6, 5, 7 hours on Xbox, just moving pieces around, dragging teams to the finish line. But like, I've kicked out so many people from this league, and so many people have paid hundreds of dollars in fines just to get back in because they just abandoned the team when the team was bad. And to the point where now they don't do that. They're just like, listen, everybody understands that if you join SIBA, it's a commitment, man. Like, don't join this league if you're not committed. It's no hard feelings. Like I always say, SIBA's for anybody, but it's not for everybody. Like, and not everybody that comes here, it's going to be their cup of tea. Some guys they can't. Some guys when the team is 1-10, they can't load up. They don't have it in them because their friends are calling them to play an overnight tournament, or they got another draft league to play or something like that, and they just don't got the heart to like stick it out on a losing team. And like that's going to lead me into like one of my first like true questions about how you grade players. Like, so it's all about performance, I'm hearing, but like a serious question I got is how much does like character play into like your ranking? Like what kind of character that player is, what kind of heart he's got, like just things like that have nothing to real do with like stick skills and playing, just like intangible qualities about them as people. I'm not talking about if they're like criminals or everything. I'm talking about anything that pertains to like playing the game. And I'm gonna give before you answer that, I'm gonna give you like a hypothetical scenario here, and I want to see if you how you answer that and what your opinion is, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you've been around the community for a long time. You've ran into a lot of great players and stuff like that. So let's say there's a player out there, right, that's on every sports team mock draft board as a point guard. They're one of the better point guards. There was an outside. Sometimes there's an outside chance that player may get drafted to the 2K league. They don't get drafted, but they're one of the top, maybe top five sought after players in post draft, and they're known to be like you don't know this player to play anything but point guard, right? So
Mm-hmm.
now they're in SIBA, right? Like I said, it's hypothetical. Now they're in SIBA, right? And the team that retains them, like in the 2K league, you can get retained. Same thing in SIBA, like you get retained, and the draft pick that was used to pick you is going to be sacrificed, right? So if you're a first round pick, you don't have a first round pick anymore. That player that you retained takes the place of your first round, just like fantasy sports. So let's say you got a player on a team that gets retained, and the kid doesn't want to play there. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and obviously in my league, we can't just let players decide that I don't want to play there because you might as well just not have a draft league at all, right? I mean, you might as well just like scrap the whole thing and let people team up with who they want, and that'll be the end of my league, and the end of pro am as we know it. So, you have a player that gets kept on a team, and that player to be disruptive and to try to like influence whether or not that they get kept is saying, "Yo, I'm only playing center now." You've never seen this player play center before in your life. Like they're
Right.
known as a point guard, right? They play everywhere as a point guard. But now it's like, yo, just to try to like get dropped or whatever, or just try to cause disruption. Either they're not responding to the coach when they're trying to communicate, hey, I'm keeping you with a first round pick. Let's go scout this combine, see what we can build around. Either they're not responding, or they're like, yo, well, I'm playing center if you keep me. So, like, in like your opinion, what do you think about that type of player's like character? Like, do you think that that's like the type of player that a professional team would build around?
Okay, so there's a lot to unpack, so I'm kind of breaking down based off what you said. So we can work in reverse. You said that type of. Am I using that to dictate like where I place guys on the list, or like?
Yeah, so like someone like that, even though they're really good at the game, but you knew that about them. Like, would that influence? Like, could you put somebody in like the platinum tier who you know is like, yo? I mean, if this dude is in a situation where the going gets tough, you already know he's gonna flake. Like the kid, like you know the dude's a flake. You know what I'm saying? Like you know the person's a flake. Like yeah, he's good at the game, but
Okay.
look, when you get drafted into the 2K league, right? Like you don't have control over it. Like you're gonna go with a group of guys and you're gonna play there. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Right.
those organizations have to know, like, yo, if I bring you aboard and pay for you and to live and pay you a salary, are you gonna flake out on a team if the team is not good? Like you gotta live with those players in the same apartment. You gotta be around those guys all the time. Like, if you can't do that from the comfort of your own home, like how could you invest in a player? Like
Okay.
that's my question to you. Like how much do you consider that to go into like how you would rank them?
Okay, so if there's players like that where they're like self sabotaging situations, let's look. We gotta look at it this way. Like, there's some players who are just like really good, and like they might look at whatever league they're in, or whatever drafting thing they're in, as like subordinate or not important, to where it won't really dictate where they land. Like if Day Fry did that, it's like, are we really gonna say Day Fry is a gold tier? I'm like, probably not.
Just
But
to
if
let you
there's
know,
somebody,
Dave Fry was in my league. The team was, I believe they were 8-10. They got in as like one of the bottom seeds, and he showed up every game, bro. Like he was a class
mm-hmm.
act. So I mean, that's
Yeah, I'm
that's
not
another.
saying that that's Day Fry. I'm just saying
But I'm saying like you have people like that, right? That I mean, he's essentially the face of the 2K league, and he's down for whatever. You know what I'm saying? He even said he's coming back when the 2K league ends. He's going back to the same team. You know what I'm saying? Like no, he doesn't accept losing, and the team did make the playoffs, but they weren't. He wasn't on the best team. And there was no bitching from him. There was no complaining about getting me off this team and stuff. There was none of that at all. It was clear communication, doing what he can to help the team regardless. So you have that side of the spectrum, and then you have the side of the spectrum that I'm talking about.
yeah, I just use this for example in terms of like talent level, not that that's his character. But I'm just saying from a talent level, if somebody acts like that with that kind of talent, like it won't really dictate a whole lot. Now, if you talk about those guys who just have big egos and they're like tweeners, like guys who just aren't that good and they just self sabotage situations like that, I'm like, yeah, I think that should play a part in it. So if you're like a guy, this just take myself for example. I'm
Right.
not like I think I'm pretty good at the game, but I'm not at the level that like the guys are now. Like I've gotten a lot worse over the
Mm-hmm.
years, but I still think I'm okay, level where I can compete.
Right.
Now if I go to like SIBA and I'm a silver guy, and I say, well, I don't like who I'm playing with, so I'm just gonna go center. Like you might think like I'm a silver guy, but if I'm doing shit like that, it's like, and I'm still not really winning either, and I'm not really dominating at my real position. Then I'm probably gonna get knocked down to bronze after a little while. So like the character, I don't think it really dictates your position, but it does play a small role in it. If that answers your question.
What if Meter Dunk did it?
I don't know a lot about Meter Dunk. I know that he's really good at the game. That's pretty much all I know. So like I've seen him here and there, like in pre-draft, and I thought he was really good. So I put him in platinum. A lot of people have been telling me about him,
Well, that's the
but
reason why I brought that
I don't know.
situation up.
I don't know
Because
how he is as a person.
that's the reason why I brought this situation up. I felt it was a perfect example because I just had to kick him out of the league because I just been hearing it for like the past like 5 or 6 days. Like our draft is on Sunday, and his coach like, yo, bro, this dude's causing nothing but problems, and being disruptive. So I just got rid of him. Like I can't deal with it anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not gonna sit here and he starts sending me a message like, yo, I played center in other leagues. Like no, the fuck you don't. Like this dude has been in my league for years. But I know he's in a situation he doesn't want to be in. It's not the first time I had to kick him out of here and stuff. It's like, to be honest, if you watched SIBA, you would see how bad he played and got embarrassed in the conference finals last season. See, that's the thing. What I'm saying, like these players, like I feel like you have to, like, and look, he was on. Let me read you his team that he had last season that got swept in the conference finals in SIBA last season. He had him at point guard. He had Killy as his shooting guard. He had Jero as his lock. Outlet, who's a very you may not know him, but he's a very serviceable back end in SIBA. Matter of fact, he made the All-Star game this season for the first time in his SIBA career, so he had a good season. He had Sickington as his center. Now, when you consider that starting five, do you think that's enough of a supporting cast for a player like of platinum status?
I think so. We got Killy with you, got Zero with you. Those are good guys.
They got embarrassed and swept by a team with U-Bots, and then they had Jack Threes Only, who's an up-and-coming star that's got his start in SIBA that I've been screaming from the top of my lungs, yo, put this kid in fucking gold at least.
I played him yesterday.
Back Sippin was the back end there, another player that's coming up, you know what I'm saying? Wugsy was the power forward, and they played double fours, and then this kid Drift. Now the rest of the when I just gave you that roster, right? I'm gonna give you this roster again. And you tell me like what you think of this roster as like as a whole. Jack Threes Only and U-Bots in the backcourt, double power forwards with Wugsy and back Sippin, and a center Drift Lifton. Give me your opinion on that starting five.
Wugsy sounds familiar, but I'm not sure the other two guys in the back end. But U-Bots has been a dog for the last couple of years, and then I'm just hearing about Jax. Right. So on paper, probably not so crazy.
That team swept that Meter Dunk team I told you about, and then they were down 3-1 in the best of 7 to DJ Too Cold and Spammy, and came back and won. They were my season champions. Now, let me tell you why. And I predicted that starting five. I predicted that team to win. You can ask anybody in my league, going back weeks before the playoffs even started. I said this Rushing Elephants team with U-Bots on it, I think they're going to win it all. And people call me crazy. And I'll tell you why. And this is now we're going to start getting into like why I think like if you don't play here, you shouldn't be ranked platinum. This team in this league, right? This team played overnight tournaments and middays and other tournaments together all the time, bro. Like this starting five, like they used the Rushing Elephants logo, my fucking team logo, and other fucking. They were playing and winning. They were beating teams like Greenlight and shit like that. They were winning these overnight and midday tournaments together. They weren't winning them all, but every time they loaded up for competitive pro-am, that starting five loaded together. And I'm looking at them like, yo, this team's gonna win. Like this team is getting chemistry. Like these guys are learning how to play alongside each other. While you had let me give you another roster, right? Let me give you another roster. Let's say if you had this three on your team, Spam 1 of 1, Can't Guard Rob, Trey Dollars. Doesn't matter what the other two players are on the court. If you got those three, what do you think of that lineup?
It's a dog lineup.
Swept. Swept out of the playoffs. Against a team that we just said was an inferior team personnel-wise on paper. Why? Because when you have these like group of like superstar players, like let's say these platinum tier players, right? And you just throw them in there, you know, the talent level, like you can't win in SIBA if you don't have talent on your team. Those players on Rushing Elephants were talented as hell. We know U-Bots is fucking spectacular. We're finding out that Jack Reese only is fucking great. Backsipping is somebody that you don't really know yet, but you will. Wugsy's okay, and Drift is a player that was written off. And, you know what I'm saying? He's been the center of my league since Season 2 all the way 2K20. He's a player that people forgot about, but he played well with that supporting cast. But it's like, the talent level is only going to take you so far. It doesn't matter how much talent you have, you're going to lose against a team that has talent if they play hard together. Like, if they buy in to the system. Like, it was difficult. That team I just gave you with Trey Dollars, Can't Guard, Rob, and Spam, like, it was difficult getting Spam to load up for point guard. You know what I'm saying? Like, their coach had to get games without the player that he traded a second-round pick for. You know what I'm saying? So, like, these guys weren't locked together. They just thought that, hey, we're just going to team up and form like Voltron, right, in the playoffs and go through it all. And they ran into a team that's been playing together and building chemistry, and they got embarrassed. And it's like, that's the biggest point that I'm trying to say. Like, what I'm trying to like let you see. And if you're in our server and you're following SIBA, like you're gonna see it more and more. Like, this is the litmus test for the 2K League. Like, there's no other substitute. Like, if you can do it here, you can do it anywhere. And if you can't do it here, you have to really question yourself and what you bring to a table. Because, like I said, the competitor, like, you're going to get your ass beat by players you never heard of, because those players that you never heard of are putting the work in that you're not. Pretty much.
Let me ask you this though. I know you said like SIBA should be like ranked higher, but like why do you think that like players should be like they shouldn't be ranked high just because they don't play SIBA?
Because
if you look at the NBA, like if NCAA isn't the end all be all, there's guys like who don't play that high competition and go somewhere else overseas, or whether it be the G League or what you have it now, or overtime league, and then they get drafted high. So like, why is it that like we should penalize guys who don't play SIBA?
You know, when you're comparing it to real life, you got to remember, these guys are playing real life, and they're not playing anywhere else but NCAA. Like, it's not like they're loading up for NCAA and G League and overseas, and it's just like there's just one league that they don't want to load up for. Like, they're committed to whether they got scouted for college, and if that's the best route for them to take to the league, or if they decided, like, with them and their family, hey, maybe going to the G League and getting a salary first and take it that way, or maybe going overseas. We saw LaMelo Ball do it, right? Like, you're taking one singular path, right? In 2K, because it's a video game, there's a plethora of leagues you can join, right? There's a bunch of leagues, and you're actually calculating based on what they do with these other leagues. Now, when you're talking about, if you are making a tier list about brands, right? Spicy Boys, Liquid, Zero Gaming, you know, all these, now that I'm thinking of, now when I'm trying to think about it, they're all escaping my brain. But like, think about like brands like that, right?
Right.
If you're talking about that, then I would say, yeah, don't even bother SIBA, because we're not a league where you can bring a team in. You go by what they do in WR and PBA, even overnight tournaments too. Like, if they keep that team together, I understand. But like, when you're doing individual players, those leagues that they play in, right? Like WR and MPBA, Hoth, like, those aren't individual player league. Those are brand name teams. And you know that a lot of these teams, like you said yourself, they don't stick together. The roster reveal in August is not going to be the same as it is in October. It happens all the time. The roster reveal in January after the draft is it's probably not even the same now. A couple of weeks later, like not even a month later. So those aren't leagues where you get individually like tested as a player, right? In SIBA, you whatever brand you play for, like if you play for the Spicy Boys, you take your Spicy Boy jersey off and you go and you play and you try to make a team. And if that team needs, and whatever team picks you, whatever team drafts you, well, first of all, you got to go through the high school and the college. I'm not even going to talk about that. Let's just fast forward and say that they already qualify for the pros. You're going to get drafted to a team that more often than not is going to have players on it already. And it's like, what do you bring to the table as an individual to help that team win? Like, the Rushing Elephants just defended their championship, right? Now, they have a huge gap in their two-guard position because U-Bots is gone and got drafted by the Blazers. Bro, the player that comes in to start at two guard for that team is gonna have such large shoes to fill that like it's like yo, you're coming in. Jack Three's on that team, Back Sippin and Drift are on that team, and they got a new coach. They got a new power forward. So like you're taking Ubot's place. Like whoever comes into that team as a two guard and continues that dominance, they got to go to platinum. Like you know what I'm saying? Like you're not you're going into a locker room with a team already, and you're replacing the star. Like if you can duplicate what Ubot's just did, and that Rushing Elephants team is back dominating their division. Maybe they don't win the championship because it's hard. We've only had one repeat champion in 22 seasons, so it's very difficult to repeat. But let's say they're competitive as hell, and they're one of the more dangerous teams. Yeah, that says way more to me about an individual player than how many times their brand won WR. You know what I'm
Let me
saying?
ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. So, say we have a player who does really well in like leagues or whether it be UPA, WR, whatever, off doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But they're winning in those leagues. They're successful in those leagues, and then they go through the ladder of the SIBA, and they're just in bad situations. They're still a good guy. They're a good player. They're a good teammate. It's just the coach isn't great at, the GM isn't great at putting the team together. The rest of the team doesn't really want to work together, but they're in it, and they're just not winning games. They're not. He's not getting moved up. What happens in those cases where
Well,
like a guy is like at the high school level, but he's like one of the more elite players in the community?
Well, it's first of all at the high school level. It's easy for elite players to team up with elite players because it's kind of BYOT down there. You can team up with who you want. You just got to find a coach that's willing to take you guys on. And then in college, you get offered scholarships. It's not a draft either, so you can actually pair up with a teammate or two. It's only when you get to the pros that you can actually get drafted into a situation that you didn't anticipate or that's like not favorable to you. But like that's more of a question I got to ask you because like looking at your
Mm-hmm.
point system, you award points for winning SIBA. Like, what if you're a really good player putting up stats and you're doing your best, and you're on a bad team? The team is 9-9, but without you, they're 0-18. Like, they didn't win anything. Like, shouldn't that influence how they are? So, like, we keep all your stats, we keep your records. Like, I know you said one day you're not going to watch 700 players. We do have a shit ton of guys. I can't even watch them all. But that's why I said, listen, if
Mm-hmm.
I were you, I would really just focus your efforts on watching the pros. And if players want to get graded in the platinum tier and shit. Like I honestly wouldn't put anybody in platinum or anything. I wouldn't put anybody listed anything more than bronze based on what they do in high school and college in SIBA. Like, and that's my own brand, and that's me telling you this because in high school there's a lot of shitty players in there because anybody can join, and there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of really good players in there because that's what you have to do. So they're just going through the process, right? So they're going to be playing
Right.
against a lot of shitty players. College level in SIBA is really where you start to see the competition get stiff because here's the numbers. About 200 or so players from high school, right, are going to qualify to get a scholarship offer from one of our 16 college level teams. And there's only about 30
Mm-hmm.
scholarships available. So if we do the math, about 15% of all high school players that played enough games to qualify for college are going to move up. So that means when you get to college, it really is the best of the best in high school. So college is like, all right, if you want to say, yo, if you win college, then in SIBA, that's important. That's pretty big because you got the best of the best. Still, you're gonna have some college players that still aren't pro material yet, or they got to stay in college for a few seasons. But that's when I say like, listen, high school is where you're just getting your games in to try to make a name for yourself to move up to the next level. College is where you're really getting looked at like, yo, this is legit. And I'm gonna say my college league is better than every fucking draft league out there by a mile. Like my high school league should belongs in a fucking tier above everything else. We've had a high school team that played 59 regular season games in 2 weeks. That's more games combined than any fucking pro-am, than any draft league for all their fucking teams to play in the regular season and playoffs combined. So like we have so much more activity level there. But that's a different. That's for later in the
Yeah.
conversation. But what I'm saying
Yeah,
is,
I was like, let's get into some questions, man. I know you're going into the season survey. I gotta cut you off, dog. I got.
okay, good.
I gotta cut you. I know there's a few people that have been commenting, and I know I got a couple requests, or I got one request.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody wanted to speak. Did you want to do the questions first, or do the requests first?
You could do whatever. I wanted to start talking about the leagues too, though. Like I wanted to start talking about the
Yeah, we can
teams.
get. Yeah, let's get some questions in first,
Sure.
and then we can jump into like the tier system. I know that's what you're here for. Let's see. Somebody asked why 2K Database Partners League are listed in plat.
That's a great
Seems
fucking
biased.
question. That's one of the questions I was going to ask. So what is the league that's database partnered right now? That's in the platinum
So
tier.
there's no parties at the moment. So this is the way I wanted to go about it. Just because I don't want the bronze level teams. I just want to give them the opportunity to just get like a season of exposure if they wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's a bronze level league who has about I don't want to use ECL because I helped them and they grew a little bit. Let's say SOB like Summer of Ball, right? Say that they reach out and they say they have about like 40, 60 guys that usually join and they want to grow for a season. So they're like, okay, how do we become partners? I was like, okay, we'll put you on platinum level. That way your guys get rewarded more. They get rewarded more. You're probably going to get more players to come, which is going to bring more money and status to your league. And we're just going to do it for a season, see what happens.
Yeah, but you know what?
So,
When I hear something like that, I'm starting to think, well, if SIBA's not partnered, but one of these lower leagues is, they jump ahead of us based on what? Because they partnered with you. Man, just because they partnered with you doesn't mean that they still can't finish a regular season. Their combines are all dead. You know what I'm saying? They only have 14 teams after draft day if they're lucky. And if they're lucky, they only have about 8 fucking active teams when the playoffs get there. And they got to skip the regular. Like, it's still, at the end of the day, there's no comparison. Like, that was one of my
no,
biggest
I get
moves.
it. No, I get it. I think the thing is, it's really like an exposure piece. So, are you familiar how like the music industry works, or like how say there's like an artist, right? They're kind of coming up, and then they have like an AR department, or they have like execs to kind of like put money into Spotify to put them on the front page, something like that.
Yeah.
They still have to do all the work. The shit still has to slap. Music still has to be good. But all I'm doing is putting them on Front Street. So they still have to try to outperform SIBA as a better
They're
league
never
and
going to do
select
that.
as a better league.
They're never going to do
That and that's fine. That's what I'm saying. I'm putting in there up there for a season. That way, it'll just draw more attention to the league. The
But you
league
don't.
still sucks. The league still sucks.
But my thing is, like, is your list to prop up these leagues, or is your list to like go for something like, so the community can have a guide to go by, like, based on how players are graded and how players are ranked, and what they got to do to move up, because the league. Listen, listen. I'm just a fucking 40-year-old fucking dick from Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? You're a 2K League champ. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot more credibility than I do in this game. You've been involved in 2K Pro Am since 2K17. 2K17, I was still a my team player. You know what I'm saying? I never really loaded up anything besides like playing threes randomly and playing my team and my GM. So it's like, you got a way more credibility than I do. So the list that you make and the list that other people make that are in your position, yeah, it could be argued that you can make or break careers. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you don't think that kind of like hurts the credibility, or it's like disingenuous to those guys, like, yo, they're partnered. This league is like, not even close to being a top tier league as far as quality goes, but they partnered with me, so let's just put them up there. Like, you don't see that, how that like kind of damages credibility.
No, I definitely get what you're saying, and also like a part of like any kind of partnership, no matter how you do business. Like if there's a league that's where like all the players are like not playing and the league still is trash, it doesn't get any better, and it doesn't make sense from like the database standpoint. Like it has to make sense for both of us. Like because I don't want to do it for everybody, and then there's leagues who they don't have any structure. Players are quitting halfway through.
Well,
They're finding
what does a
everybody.
league what does a
Like,
league got
but
to do to get partnered?
so I still haven't set everything up yet. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna post something on the timeline in the next couple of days. I still have to meet with my guys and like actually put something together. But the biggest thing is that it's gonna be a paywall. Like they're gonna have to pay to be at the platinum status. So and it's like a certain threshold they have to hit in order to stay in partner status if they want to continue. So like you said, like these guys still have to have integrity. The league still has to perform and get bigger if they want to continue as a partner.
So it sounds like pay for play.
It's like a pay to play. Yeah, it's kind of like pay to play.
But you have to, like, there's definitely like a part of like the logic part of your brain that sees like that tanks the credibility tremendously by doing something like if this was completely, like, if you were being completely arbitrary, right? Like if you were being like third party, right? And we're just like, listen,
Mm-hmm.
we're just grading players by what they do, and based on the leagues they play in and the structure and the competitiveness of the leagues, this is what you got. Like, that's perfect. But like now you're taking it to where, like, yo, any fucking league, like any
But
shit league with anybody with a cell phone that has a high speed internet access and can make a fucking Discord can all of a sudden pay you and get launched into platinum. You know what I'm saying? Like that. You know,
But they still have to perform as a league, though. They still have to bring the talent into the league.
So
Like
if they pay you to be platinum and the league still doesn't perform, do you give them their money back and drop them?
I think after the season, we just look at how the season performed and did they see any growth, and if it looks like it's not going to work for the next season, then we just won't work.
Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Listen, I'm not trying to. Listen, I'm not here to like put any leagues down. And you know, it's difficult. You gotta understand in my position with me, because I run a league. It's very difficult for me to give my opinion on something without looking like a hater or somebody that's trying to tear people down to make my league look better. I don't have to do that at all. Like you know what I'm saying? Like there's no league above me that I have to tear down to bring to my level. Like you know what I'm saying? Like those whatever, like if there was ever like draft league wars at any time, I won it a long time ago. You know, and it wasn't even close. So it's like, but my thing is like those leagues are never going to perform like SIBA. And you know, I mean, listen, I don't like to mention other leagues. We somebody did tag Ev. Ev could have came on here, but he said no. So like they had actually had a chance to defend his brand. So I will name WR Select by name. You got him in the same tier as us. To me, that's a slap in the face, but it's embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? Like that. I mean, that league has struggled. I mean, I remember last year in post draft they had to refund everybody's money because they couldn't get 12 GMs, they couldn't get 12 teams, they couldn't get enough guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you take a look at like their admin team. Like again, I usually wouldn't do this, but like I said, the dude had a chance to come on and defend his brand. He didn't want to do that. You know, I go hard for mine. Listen, I'm going to give you the biggest reason why leagues like Select and other draft leagues that are out there, they're never going to be able to do what we do because a league like Select, it's like it's under the UPA branch, right? It's a branch of the UPA tree, right? So it's like when you go to when you're dealing with UPA, you got you got WR Select, like that's the main league. You got MPBA. If you want, if you want to play competitively and go to and go here, you could do that. Then they got SL, which is for the the amateurs or whatever players that don't win a lot and everything. They got the Rising Stars, and if you want to have draft league fun, we have draft league. You know, it's just another thing on the menu. In SIBA,
Right.
there is nothing else but draft. Like there is nothing else but this. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're not gonna have an organization that just does draft league on the side, and ever think that you're gonna compete with somebody like me who's just obsessed with doing just this. I've been asked a million times, yo, Feach, do 3v3, you'll do well. No, I've been asked a million fucking times. I've been asked several times this week already. Are you ever gonna do OVNs and mid days? Never in my fucking life will I ever do anything like that. The only thing I do besides SIBA is I do the Hall of Fame Classic at the end of the year in August. I did it last year. We had 30 teams on Xbox, and we gave out $4,000 to the champs. Right? We only do, and the only reason, and that's a BYOT tournament. And the only reason why I do that is to draw attention to our Hall of Fame that we have in SIBA that we vote on once a year. Like at the end of every 2K. It's not once a season. Like in order to get in the Hall of Fame in SIBA, you have to. If you don't get in this year, you have to wait a whole. You're gonna age 1 year until you can get
Mm-hmm.
in again. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we see it
Right.
as something that's very significant. It's a prestigious honor. So to like commemorate that and draw attention to it, we just have a massive tournament called the SIBA Hall of Fame Classic and shit. And like before the finals, we'll have like the Hall of Fame inductees come on the stream and be guest announcers and shit like that. We'll have like a little Hall of Fame induction speech before they start game one of the finals and shit. Like we make it a whole event. You know, but other than that, like, and even when I do that, it's still SIBA centric, right? Like I don't do anything else but this. So there's no way in
Mm-hmm.
hell anybody else is gonna be able to compete. And right now, like if you think about it, bro, 40 team. Like, do you know what kind of work you have to do to like catch us? 40 pro, 16 college, and I would say right now. Let me take a look how many. I'll tell you exactly how many high school teams are registered right now, and the season doesn't even start till February 7th. I'm gonna go to the high school rankings. We have 43 registered teams. 43 with their team names, logos, and coaches.
But
43.
you also got to look at it though. You also got to look at it though. So like, though I know you don't like being in that exact same tier. Like, CB is
I
still
just want to
rated
know.
higher in terms of points. Just
But my question is like, what is it about that league and my league that you see similarities where they belong in the same tier? What do they do that's similar to like how close do you think they are? Like what is it that what criteria do they have to be anywhere near us? Or
I think
any league for that matter, bro. Any league in general.
I think we have like you as you can see in the graphic, like Staten Island is like the highest league, highest draft league there is. So even if we put I think even if we put select in silver, you're probably still gonna be upset about the point system or something.
Bro, I'm not.
So
Listen, honestly, if I saw SIBA in its own tier by itself, I wouldn't have said a word about the leagues at all. The only thing I would have said about the leagues is I would have said, yo, honestly, take us out of the draft league tier and just put us in with the other leagues because I'm the more I do this, right, the more I run this league and the more I grow it, the more I'm starting to not like the whole draft league connotation. You know, like to me,
yeah,
it's like
you
yo,
haven't really
do you,
branched out of the draft league bucket though.
but do you?
Like
But listen. Do you call the NBA 2K League a draft league? No, it's a league, right? Do you call the NBA is a draft league? But we don't say, yo, I'm a fan of the NBA draft league
but then
team. The Knicks.
every league can use that same. Every league will say that. Then.
No, no. What do you mean? That's the. In
Like
my
if you're like, yo, we're not a draft league, we're a league, and then every league can use that same argument and say like we're not a
how
draft league.
because they're
Like
not
2K League by definition is a draft league.
right. But nobody
So like you
considers
said
it.
that before.
So is the NFL. Like so is Major League Baseball. But like we don't call it a draft. We don't call the NFL a draft league. We just call it a league. Like it's the NFL. It's the National Football League. You know, like that's how I want. Ultimately, that's how I want my.
So
league
you
to
would
look.
word it as like leagues,
It's just
attorneys, and BYOTs. That's how you would word it.
I'm
You just
gonna
word it differently.
I'm gonna say something that's gonna be controversial. I've said this before and I've gotten a lot of heat for it. Like I said, I've been called a hater. I'm saying it. I'm gonna stand on business and I'm gonna say it, bro. I don't think there's another league besides SIBA. I think all the things that you consider leagues, like W1s, I think those are like glorified like major tournaments. I don't know how you can have a league when you don't have like a regular season that matters and a
So
structure where there's like have you been in the SIBA Discord? We have conferences,
so
divisions.
you're gonna drink the SIBA water. You're gonna make everybody drink the SIBA water.
No, what I'm saying
By
is
doing this.
what I'm saying is like if you look at SIBA, right, and you look at the NBA or the NFL, it looks simple. Like the NFL has NFC and AFC. We have the Shaolin and Wu Tang. Then you have the NFC East, the NFC South, the NFC West, the NFC North. We have the New Brighton division, Annandale division, Tonville. We have I named it after neighborhoods in Staten Island, North Shore and South Shore, right? And every
Right.
division that we have, there's 5 teams in them, right? And then we have you have a division win. The division winners in each division get a first round bye, right? Just like in the NFL, like the top team gets a first round bye, and then you have the lottery teams. You have teams that don't make the playoffs, right? And they go into the draft lottery, just like the
I think
NBA.
nobody's doubting the structure.
But that's what I'm saying. Like I don't look at my structure of my league and say that's a draft league. I just look at it as a league, bro. Because that's to me that's the way leagues are supposed to be structured. And if leagues aren't structured like that, I don't know if I can call them a league. Like I don't listen. Like I sponsored OPM and I follow this stuff. So like when you join, like let's say when you join WR, right? You join with your team. And then you get like the preliminary like preseason tournament. Like you get a quick tournament, it's like an hors d'oeuvre, right? Whoever wins gets like
Right.
$500. It wets the beak a little bit. Then you have like 2 weeks of regular season and nobody wants to fucking play. Like it doesn't like you keep stats, but the stats don't matter, right? How can you have stats that matter when a lot of those players that are loading up aren't even them on their game, on their same gamer tag? They're just telling people to load up for them to play the court. Like nobody wants to play in those regular seasons. There's no structure there, right? And then I guess it's depending on if you played enough regular season games, you can qualify for the playoffs. And that's when people start paying attention. That's when you're going to get your actual starting 5 on their own accounts, playing for real. And then you have like, let's say there's like 24 teams in the WR season 81 that they got going on, right? That's coming up. And there's 24 teams in their final playoff. Like seed 23, if they actually had a real regular season, would probably be seed 1. But nobody gave a fuck. So then you got the 23rd seed like running through the fucking tournament. You got the number 1 seed, which was just a bunch of fucking rec randoms having fun, saying, "Oh shit, man, I can play in the league." And they're not a real 1 fucking seed, bro. They just played a bunch of games, right? And they were beating teams with players on burner accounts. Like to me, like that kind of structure there, in my opinion, like yo, what is the point of having just scrap the regular season, have a massive double elimination like I'm gonna tell you right now, like the SIBA Hall of Fame tournament that we had, the Hall of Fame Classic, was round robin, bro. We had like 6 groups, kind of like FIBA, where you had to play each team in your group twice, and you got points. You got a point for show. You got a half a point for showing up, and you got 2 points for a win, right? So the teams with like the most amount of points moved on to the tournament. So if teams didn't want to show up, they didn't get in. And that was kind of like the regular season. And then we had our tournament where everybody really paid attention to. It's like why make teams show up to regular season games if they don't want to? Just People just listen. Nobody wants the fucking salad. That when you go out to dinner, right? And you're like, what kind of salad do you want? Do you really fucking care when they ask you what you're like? Yo, I don't care. Just give me any dressing. I'm gonna throw it to the side and eat the regular food. I don't give a shit about the salad. I'm not taking it home. Like that's what the regular season is in these leagues. It's like the fucking salad. We want the fucking main course. Just give me the food. I bet. Give me the food I paid for that smells good that I see everybody getting, and fucking I'll give the salad to the kids or something. Just give it to the back. Give it to a homeless person outside the restaurant. Like that's just the way I see it. Like I think like leagues are like kind of like beating their head against the wall, trying to like have a regular season that matters. You know. And I'm sorry that I'm the only one to figure it the fuck out and how to make teams that are like fucking. Listen, you want to get people to come up in here and speak? I'll get people from my league that'll tell you, bro. Yeah, my team was 0-13. I still showed up. Otherwise, Feach was going to kick me, and I didn't want to get kicked because I wanted to play next season, so I just showed up. You know what I tell people? I tell people, listen, we keep your stats and all that stuff, bro. Just go out there and stat pad, bro. Just go out there, show up. Pad your numbers a little bit, make your numbers look good going to next season's draft, and try to get some wins out of there. Like the head coaches in my league, like we keep track of your all-time career head coaching wins. So it's like if a team is like 1-10, and like, damn, bro, I'm like 18th all time in head coaching wins. Like, if I could just get 2 or 3 more, I'll move up 2 spots. Like, the coaches are motivated to get as many wins as they can because it just looks good on their resume, right? They want to get to the SIBA Hall of Fame as a coach. They got to have a certain amount of wins in their career, So it's like everybody's really motivated to show up whether the team is good or not. And it took me about 3 years to get it to that point, but that's where it is now. And that was my whole beef, if you will. Not even beef, but like that was my whole conflict or question with your tiers. Is like I know the work that I had to do to put into this league to get it to this point where no other league is at. Like we're doing shit that nobody else is doing. So of course I'm gonna look at this tier system and see me with select and be like, what the fuck is this? They can't even fit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no way in hell those fuck. Bro, they can have 10 GM. They can have 10 admins. They won't do the amount of shit that I can do myself. So, like, of course I'm going to look at that. I'm not, I don't mean no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? But, like, that's just the way I was seeing it. You understand what I'm saying?
Right. No, I definitely get you. I'm gonna respond to your point. Then we gonna get the speakers in here.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Whatever.
You bring up whatever speakers you want. I won't even bring them up. You're the co-host, so you can just bring them up if you want.
Yeah.
So anybody that's listening that want to speak, request, and it's gonna be yay to bring you up. I'm not even looking at my phone.
So to respond to the point, I think I agree in terms of like from a structure standpoint. I think SIBA is probably one of the more organized, if not the most organized league we have. I do agree that a lot of these leagues do have like regular seasons that are irrelevant, and there should be some kind of change to the structure. But when breaking from a database standpoint, in doing these rankings, like I did a lot of that based off like history of the league for what the players um, in the community actually have respect for in terms of like the league they play in, the pasta they have, how often they run. So like that's why I put select as a gold tier just because they've been around for a while. They run have consistent runs. I know it's been kind of struggling as of late, but there's a lot of good talent that came out of select over the past years. There's a lot of talent that goes into the SIBA now. That's why they rank higher than everybody else, even though they share a tier. But a lot of these draft leagues have been around for a little bit. They might not be as structured, but they still garner some respect within the community. So, I mean, all I can do is really show respect on our end and rank them higher than like some of the leagues that might just be starting out or just been unknown. So, that's what I thought like going into it. I know you work really hard. And I think the structure that you put in place for SIBA is really good, and I think a lot of other leagues are going to start taking notice, which at least they should, in terms of like how to organize their leagues. But I mean, I'm just going off, like I said, everything's preliminary about the history of the league, what the respect within the community. These are how I got it set up as of now. I had a couple guys that I consult with, and I mean, we came to a decision like this list is good for now, and then we'll see how it goes the next 4 to 6 weeks, and who moves up, moves down, becomes partner. So be it. So I mean, that's kind of where we're at now. Just to respond to your point, but let me Apollo, I'm gonna bring you up first. If you're still around. Apollo, can you hear me? Is he up here? Oh shit! I think I missed
Nah, I
it.
just clicked it on the people and see like who's trying to.
Yeah, I approved him. I approved him to come up. I don't know if he like dipped or something.
Nah, listen. Sometimes when you approve somebody, it kicks them out of the space altogether because Twitter's just terrible sometimes. So
What the fuck?
you'll have to wait
Okay.
until they come back and request. I just want to say, while you're figuring it out, like, SIBA wasn't always like this. Like, I mean, my first 4 seasons in running this, there was no Twitter, there was no cash prize. Like, it was just me running it with 12 teams, 16, a bunch of rec randoms and shit like that. Like, it wasn't the powerhouse that you see now. Like, it took years for me to get to do, to get where it's at. Like, the biggest thing I can say is like I had a vision of what I wanted SIBA to look like when it was all said and done, and everything I did was towards that vision. I had a lot of people. I went through periods of time running this league where I had players bash it on Twitter. Yo, this commissioner's fucking nuts. He's an old head. Yo, he kicks out the comp because like comp players would come in and they wouldn't want to show up, so I banned them. And I have people, yo, how can you ban this player, bro? He's a top pro-am player. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Get him the fuck out of here. Like, yo, give me 500 rec randoms, and I'll give you the best league you ever saw. Like, that's what I believe. So I never really, like, catered to those type of players. And, like, I got my league bad. Bro, there's people that bash my league on Twitter that are here now playing. They said they would never play here in their lives, right? I have DMs from them saying, yo, I would never play here. They've been playing here and having fun because at some point, like, you start realizing, bro, maybe this garbage man from Brooklyn and Staten Island he's on to something. Maybe.
No, I feel you. For some reason, the request shit ain't working. I don't know. Like I keep approving
Let me
it.
bring something up. I guess Trento was first, so I'll just hit the approve button. Trento's a dude that I had to kick out of this league several times, bro. So he's good. He's not going to be somebody that's going to be really on my side much, so you can ask him shit. But like I said,
Are you people gonna actually come up and ask questions, or are they just gonna be riding the SIBA train?
No, I promise you, bro. I promise you. Like, listen, there's gonna be play like Buck will probably ride the SIBA train. He loves this league, and look, I'll tell you. Listen, Buck was the type of player like he's just playing.
They got SOE in their bio. They can't come up.
I don't know why I keep approving people, and it's not letting them.
Yeah, I keep approving them too, and it's not coming up. I don't know what it is.
Just keep trying. Maybe it worked for the Gallus or something. I think it worked for the Gallus because I saw his mic go on mute.
Yo,
what's going on?
Oh, somebody said something.
Yeah. So, listen, I just want to say, look, if you try to speak and I approved it and it kicked you off, just try to request again, and I'll try it again.
Okay, the Gallus. Yeah, okay, he's there.
You gonna say something, or you just gonna sit there and
So no, bro, he can afford it. All right. So how are you like figure you're gonna keep up with like all the people that are gonna be trying to get onto I guess your database list or like I guess the quote unquote ranking that you're making for the players? Like, what are y'all gonna do for that? Like, how y'all got a system in place for that?
We do have a team of scouts. That's how we did it pre-draft last year. So it was a team of scouts. It was me and about 15 guys. It was hard. It was difficult to keep up with because we were doing Final Fours, and Beast might talk shit about this, but a lot of leagues don't post like their Final Fours. They just leave it up to the players to do it. So I was hard to keep track of like team pages and like people kept changing their Twitter ads, and I was like, fuck, bro, we just can't do it. So like what I did, I tried to take a little more of an initiative this time around. I'm probably gonna put a post out about adding guys to the scouting team to help me out with this. I try to follow every single one of the leagues that I posted on there. I might have missed a few just because I can't find ads. But try to hold their feet to the fire in terms of like posting what's going on in the league, in terms of like who's winning what tournaments, whether it be like a mid-season tournament, an open, playoffs, just so we're able to keep track of it on our end. And we're going to start doing like scouting reports down the line too, to where players can request scouting reports and we're going to have those stats available too. So we're reaching out to leagues about that as well. It is tough to keep track of everything, so we're gonna do our very best. And also, like, I welcome all players in leagues and teams to tag me in these posts too as well. Whether it be like the finals, we're only going to do finals, we're not going to do final four just because it's going to be almost impossible to keep track of. So we're going to try and see how we do with finals. We're going to do our very best. And like I said, we won't be perfect, but if we're going to update or I have like a whole doc together with everybody's list name on it, and then once they win and points get added, we're gonna every single week have a player's week, every single month have a player of the month. So how many of the top five in points, probably at each position. Hopefully, to get some graphic designers on board to help out with this. That way, players see where they stand. They can also reach out to me and see where they stand too as well. That way, everything is front and center in terms of like what we have and what we able to keep up with, and where players like stand amongst their peers in the community. If that answers your question.
Yeah. So like another thing, how much is like different leagues is like say like for instance, in my opinion, winning in SIBA is like a lot harder than other leagues because you don't have to like you don't have your own team, right? You're pretty much dealt the hand you're given. So
Right.
like how much like per se winning in SIBA as opposed to winning on like not the basketball league, but like so like LGBA or something like that. Like how is winning in different leagues in that account to like how you rank people?
Well, you have the point system.
Yeah, I have the tier, I have the point system. So
Oh, I didn't see
SIBA,
it.
yeah, you can check my
You
profile.
do get the
It's on
most
there.
points for winning SIBA, bro, and you do get
Yeah, you get the most points for winning
compared to other
the
leagues.
competitive leagues.
Yo, compared to other leagues, you get more points for a college than fucking damn near every draft league for winning SIBA college.
All right, Coach Buck here, the older guys. SIBA frontline representative. Quick question. Uh, I feel like you guys have been like tiptoeing through the tulips when asked certain questions, like about WR. I feel like you give them a safety net. To be completely honest with you, you're not giving them the real reasons why we're in the same category as
He's
them.
talking about
But
select.
yeah, but to get to my question, specifically, what is keeping SIBA in gold and out of platinum?
We're not partnered. That's what's keeping us out.
Not partner.
So basically, you're saying we need to pay to be there?
That's what I was saying before. That was my whole. That was the whole argument before.
Hold on. So either we need to pay to be there, or one of your friends need to refer us to be there. Is that what I'm hearing?
It's nothing to do with like being referred. The thing with SIBA, you guys are ranked the highest, and also it's like a brand new concept, so it isn't perfect. And then what are you saying? Like select shouldn't be there, or you guys should be platinum, or
I'm specifically asking you what is keeping us in gold and out of platinum.
Oh, it's just platinum is a partner tier just for draft leagues right now. And like I said, like
So not cut you off. I'm sorry, but so basically, if we don't pay you, we will never see platinum.
it's not saying it's a never day. It's just where we're starting right now.
No, it's just a yes or no question.
I just answered just like it's not a forever thing. It's just where we're starting right now.
Yes or no?
I don't know any other way like
Yes or
teams are gonna move up and down.
if we don't pay you, can we have an opportunity to be platinum? Yes or no?
Oh, well, you have an opportunity to be platinum. Yeah. Why not? I don't see why not.
Okay,
Well,
cool.
listen. Like I said, this is preliminary, so we'll see. I'm all for giving guys the benefit of the doubt. So I will give you the benefit of the doubt. But if we go on and it's like April, May, and I see teams that are paying you to be platinum and we're still in gold, I'm gonna, bro. Not even just me. Like you heard Buck. Like there's a fucking another 1,500 people just like Buck in the SIBA Discord and that are fucking SOE that say the same thing. But that have been asking me to ask you that same question. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Like that's, bro. My whole like, what I think is like you gotta. And look, It's not that I'm trying to bash what you're doing, but like take it from somebody that's old, right? A little older than you, like. If you want to do this, right, for it to be taken serious, you can't jeopardize, like you can't sacrifice the integrity of the list based on who's paying to go where. Like if the team wants to be partnered with the database and get preferred like scouting reports and stuff like that, like 100%, that might even be something I'd be willing to discuss with you. Like, hey, because I'm just a league owner. I don't play. Like I really don't play. But like I have a ton of guys. I have hundreds of players that are dying to like get like I said, Gardon, Jack Threes only, backs like all these players that are like Dick Alice is another one. Like all these guys are like, bro, they're scrapping to try to get their name out there. Like they have a partnership with the database. Is like, yo, if you partner with the database, we're gonna have scouts in your league that's gonna be paying way more attention to your guys in general, so there's more likelihood that these individual players can move up from like bronze to silver and shit if you're in a partner league because we're focusing on you more. But like if a league has to pay you to move up in a tier, to me, like that really that tanks the credibility. To be honest, like, and I just listen. I'm a person that has a lot of genius ideas, and I just thought of that idea on the fly. I'm giving you permission, bro. You can steal that idea all you want. You can say, hey, listen, if you partner with us, you're gonna get preferred scouting reports for your players, bro. Like you can. That's free game. I give free game to people all the time, you know. But like, in my opinion, like if I was doing it, that's kind of something that I would offer. Like, listen, if your league wants to pay, and then you know what that does? That kind of like puts the league owner, someone like me, on the spotlight, and my players could be looking at me like, hey, so you're trying to tell me a former 2K League champ is listing these guys, and they're moving ahead of me now because you don't want to pay what to get us partnered? You know what I'm saying? Like. I start getting looked at, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it might put pressure on some of these leagues to be like, you know what? I'm looking out for my players, right? But what do you do if every fucking league pays you to do that, man?
Oh yeah, that's one situation that like I was willing to think about. Like if every league does it, then we're probably gonna have to take a step back for sure because, like you said, it's gonna ruin the credibility, and then there's gonna be a lot of leagues trying to jump up at the same time, and it's gonna be overwhelming for players too as well. It's still like it's still like we're still building like the foundation of it. We still gotta go back and really think about how it actually works to where most of the community is gonna be happy because of course we can't make everybody happy,
Well, it's
right?
not the point.
So
Listen, the point is not to make everybody happy, bro. The point is to put
yeah,
out,
of course. That's what I was getting.
the point is to me is to put out something that is going to be legit,
That just makes
credible,
sense.
that people can look at as a reference point, right? Because we are talking
Right.
about players who can pretend, like, listen, even if they don't go to the 2K League, they can build their streams and make money, right? There's a lot. It's a career path for some of these kids. So, you know, like to me, like that's the if people, you know, listen, people are gonna get pissed. People are gonna feel like they belong, like me. I mean, I wouldn't say that I'm pissed, just more like disappointed that you know we're sharing a tier with another league. But like at the end of the day, like I don't have any goals to go to the 2K League or anything like that. Like I'm not nearly good enough, and I'm too old, even if I was. Like so, you know, me, I'm more my mindset has always been about promoting my guys. Like it's something that you probably like just learning about me. I know
Yeah.
you said on the Twitter like you thought I was weird till you heard me speak. Like I'm gonna tell you how I roll. Ready? See, you're gonna hate me. A lot of people are gonna be out there. They're gonna hate me. I can't stand Fee. She's fucking annoying. You're gonna hate me, but you're gonna know my guys. Like you're gonna know who Jack Threes is. You're gonna know who Gardon. Like you're gonna know who my guys are because I'm gonna piss you off to the point where you get sick and tired of hearing me talk about these guys. You're gonna hate me, but then you're gonna watch them like, yo, what is this fucking old stupid fuck talking about? Let me see this dude. Oh shit, this dude is really good. So I don't care what gets thought about me. I'm just here like being a front man for my guys because they don't have the voice or they don't want to come off like disrespectful. Or they don't want to come off like desperate. So I go to bat for them and I speak up for them being as loud as I am because what are you going to do to me? Blackball me from making a 2K League? I couldn't give two shits. You can't do anything to my. Nobody can do anything to my league, right? You know.
Right. Let me get this one up though. So like when I was building the tier systems, like this is what I had in mind. And I know I'll let you talk for like 80% of the spaces. So I'm gonna get this off and then I'll probably give it like another 5 minutes so people can ask questions and stuff. What I had in mind, like the big reason, the big motivation behind this is that the 2K like post draft last year was just it was ass. Right? It was just nothing was going on for the last couple post drafts. It was only a couple teams really rocking, right? So when I went into this post draft, I was like, okay, there's a lot of names we didn't know about last post draft. It's going to help out a lot of 2K League teams like keep up with players. And this it was like an empty space that nobody. It was like the one thing we didn't know we needed, right?
Right.
So that's why I built the 2K database. Is a lot of like players in leagues that nobody knows about and that I think deserve an opportunity. So when I created the platinum tier, is pretty much how I wanted to do it season by season. I'm not going to do like a whole summer partnership with a team with a shitty league. So I was like, okay, if these summer, I use summer ball as a example. If this is a league that they kind of just started off pre-draft or maybe post-draft before, they only got so many players in the league. It's the talent level isn't that great, and it might be some guys who aren't that talented who are intimidated by SIBA that might be like, okay, maybe what are my other options, right? So like, okay, create the platinum system, bring more guys to the league, provide more opportunities for the guys on the lower end. I created the free agent teams as well. Another opportunity for players that who don't have a big name or just starting to build into the community.
Right.
I like you have playground, you have the playground where guys can come in and start getting games in. Just creating more opportunities. So one, like give these players more options because it's leagues I didn't even know about until yesterday. And then when I made the graphic, I was like, what the fuck are these guys? But I like now these new guys are coming in. It's going to create more excitement for one post draft, and it's going to bring more casual players into the competitive community. Now they know they have options. So I understand your standpoint. You and your was it Buck?
Yeah, that was
I understand your point, your standpoint,
right,
Right
right.
here.
where like I understand you guys' standpoint because SIBA is like just front running draft leagues right now. Even though you don't like to call it a draft league, this is what we're calling it. It's just so we can get through the conversation.
True.
But you guys are front running that draft league right now, and I understand the frustration of being ranked with another league. I just want to show these guys that there are other options available to them. Now we can sit down, we can reevaluate the tiers, possibly put the pros in the platinum section and leave college and high school in the gold. We can have those conversations. I'm like, this is what we put out. I wanted to put it out there so we had the buzz going. That way, come February 1st, you start keeping score of everything. Like people start to know where to stand, community know where their options are, players know where they are in tier. If I didn't rank them, I'll try my best to get more players on there and redo it here in the next couple weeks. But I just wanted to get this is like the start before the race kicks off, just to get the buzz going. I got DMs of people saying like, "Oh, you got my guys to load up now. I couldn't get these guys to load up 2 months. Now they see a list, they want to play the game now." So that was the whole motivation behind it. I'm not, you know, what I'm saying, and also like I didn't really do it to be absolutely 100% right. I just wanted a starting point so people can see where the options are, players can get motivated to play the game.
That's what it's all
I just
about.
had to get my, I just had, yeah, I just wanted to get that off.
I don't listen. I never doubted that for a second, bro. You know what I'm saying? I never doubted that's why you made the list. And I'm not sitting up here saying it's a fucking money grab for you. And I never said that at all. You know, I understand where you're coming from too with the partnered and stuff like that to promote. And of course, you're putting a lot of time and effort into what you're doing. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? If you, my opinion is, listen, bro. We live in America, bro. Like, making money is not a dirty. Profit is not a dirty word in this country. So if you're doing work and you're putting in an effort, and you have a product that's in demand, why wouldn't you, make money off it? Like, why wouldn't you turn it into something that, that's worth your while in that respect? So I don't, I have respect for that, but at the same time, like I'm telling you right now, think it would get a lot further down. I think you would get a lot further down the road if you like didn't have the tier system like pay to get to move up. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, somebody's gonna pay to move up because they're gonna look at us and they'll be like, "Yo, we're gonna fucking jump ahead of SIBA right now. We're gonna pay this dude, and now we're gonna be on this list that's getting 100 retweets, blah blah blah." That's not gonna fucking matter at all because their league is still gonna be what it is, and you're gonna have to look at it like, bro, why do I have a platinum shit in my league with fucking 12 teams in it, and only 5 active teams at the end? You know what I mean? Like that's how it's gonna look, bro. It's not even gonna make your shit look good. It's gonna drag your shit down. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel you. I hear that. But then, like I see Jack Scott on here. I think Payne was able to come up. I think Tana. So, any you guys got questions? Because
Yeah.
I've
What's
already
up?
answered a couple questions. I'm
Yeah.
gonna
Go
take
ahead.
off.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Bliss. That's Bliss.
No, I had a question though.
What's
Can
up?
you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, so boom. I appreciate y'all dragging me up to talk though. Yeah. But as y'all seen, I was on one of them lists that was like coming up as a lockdown. So I would have to ask you guys like or, how you base on the list, like what would you advise the upcoming, talent to do to get, on the higher, platinum gold or how you want to put it? Like what would you want them to
Yeah.
do to get their
No, I,
name out?
no, I definitely feel you. I think we kind of talked about this a little bit earlier. I can tell you about like why I place folks, like where I placed them when I posted the initial list, and then what my idea is. So like some of the guys who are like I didn't know about, some of the guys in bronze and silver that are kind of coming on the scene that didn't play as much, don't win as much, not on the timeline as much. I don't really know about. So like I did a little bit of research, nothing too crazy. I'll go on their page, see what they're playing with, see what leagues they're in. If I didn't recognize anybody on the team, it didn't seem like they were really going anywhere, I'll put them in bronze. If they're in silver, because like I didn't really recognize the name, but they're playing with some players that I might recognize, or playing in leagues that are competitive and they're actually making runs, I'll throw them in silver. That's how I did it from a preliminary standpoint. So like in order to grow and get your name out there and move up in tiers, that's going to come down to your skill. That's going to come down to how well you play. So draft leagues is a really great spot to start. You have your options now. I'll put the tier system in terms of like who's all available, how many points those are going to be worth. You can go into SIBA, you can make runs in SIBA and move up quicker. You can make runs in regular leagues and BYLTs and make runs quicker. I think those would be the best way to get your name because at the end of the day, you still have to beat the best, no matter if the database exists or not. In order to get your name out there, you have to go in these leagues and beat the best competition within those leagues. That's just no matter what you do in life.
Yeah, that's all I was asking though. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
For sure, for
Uh,
sure.
Bliss, did you have something?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Um, I wouldn't necessarily say I have some. I just have something to interject. About the whole like uh ratings and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're doing obviously is, like I said, it makes interest in the post draft because post draft be boring as hell after.
Right.
Um, but I also do agree with Feach because I'm gonna be honest, me personally, from my experience, if it wasn't for Feach's SIBA, you wouldn't have seen me because I've only been in pro am for 2 years, and I got back on 2K like October, November, something around there. And the first thing I did was play SIBA just because a lot of my friends who play Xbox like, yo, SIBA's the shit. Like, you got to go there. And um, before that, like, no one knew me. Like, my posts, like, no one picked me up for overnights. No one picked me up for tourneys. No one picked me up for BYOTs. And then I went to SIBA. I hooped literally for like 3 weeks. I just hooped. I hooped. I became defensive player, all star, college all star, played the tourney, won that shit, like did all that. And then that got me, a team. I don't know if you know him, but I think he played 2K League or was a prospect, Jumper, or something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
jumper.
it's
And
prospect. Yeah.
yeah, he picked me up, and then I won my first OVN with him, for this 2K, and then another team picked me up, and I won again. You know what I mean? So I definitely think SIBA is on. I wouldn't necessarily say they're platinum just because like the stuff that you're comparing it to. Not that SIBA doesn't have the potential. I just don't think they're there yet. But I do think they are in a whole different level than Select because I'm in Select right now, and it's not looking pretty good for them right now. Um, so I do agree with Feach on that part that honestly SIBA out of the draft leagues is, like you said, if not the best, because a lot of like you got a lot of big names, you got a lot of big names in there, but also a lot of names are being made because of SIBA.
Mm-hmm.
Example, Jack Threes. Like no one knew of him. You know what
Two
I'm saying?
talk.
Not saying two talk, you know what I mean? Not saying that they're ass, they're not. Obviously two talk went to the league and Jack Threes, I mean he's winning shit. But without that push from SIBA, because SIBA has such a big reach, a lot of these people wouldn't be seen. Me, for example, like I said,
No
Jack
cap.
Threes. There's a lot
No
of
cap. They
people
wouldn't have found me.
that are getting seen because of SIBA. So I
Yeah,
definitely
Yeah.
most
agree with
definitely.
Feach when I say SIBA is on a different level and it does have a different reach. But I also understand what you're saying because you've been in the professional league. You already know kind of what they're looking for and what needs to be seen. So I just kind of want to interject that because I do understand both parts. Um, and just moving forward from your list, maybe
I
you take
respect that.
something from what I said, and you never know.
Yeah, I respect that. I mean, you've been a part of FAT and stuff, so like you've been doing a good job. So I respect that. Jack Three, did you have something too?
Before Jack we said, I just want
Nah,
I
I had nothing to say.
yeah, but Jack, before you go, I want to say something real quick because I am in the SIBA league chat, seeing people talk, and one question that was coming up that they were talking about is like all of a sudden Feach wants to be part of the 2K community, like you know what I'm saying, like because I've been like a maverick, like I've been on my own, blah blah blah. It's not that I'm trying to be like part of the crew, right? I'm just you know what I'm saying, like we have players that play everywhere. Like you guys got to stop focusing on me. You know what I'm saying? Like if
Mm-hmm.
you think that I'm not talking. I'm talking about people in my league that want to accuse me because like yo, listen, for a long time.
I was like, you talking to me or
No, I'm
special
talking
dude?
about the people that are in my league that talk shit. That say, yo, I'm kissing ass. I'm just trying to get in good with people in the 2K community in the league and blah blah blah. Like first of all, if you want to grow something, you always have to branch out. You can't stay in the same cocoon. You know, I mean, I came up making this league myself. I don't owe nobody nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I came up with me. I didn't have no org. I'm not eyeball or fucking anything else. Like it's just me on my shit. And so many people are just used to me being me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't owe nobody nothing. I don't gotta mince words, whatever. But like
Mhm.
if we're talking about you're making a list, right? And you have like these tiers and stuff like that for these players. These guys play here. I feel like Jack Three's only to play like him. He's one of my guys. Like he's one of my like he
Mhm.
comes here, he plays here. You know what I'm saying? Like to see him on a list to branch out and maybe you see him in the next like I don't know UPA event or something like that, winning some serious money. Like I want that opportunity for these guys, bro. I'm old enough to be some of these dudes' fathers if you think about it, right? So it's like, so like I'm not trying to
Yeah, you
get
don't want to be
in.
mine.
I'm not trying to get in good or try to fit in anywhere, but like I'm trying to look out. Listen, I look out for the guys that play for me. You know what I'm saying? I look out for these guys. Like every player to me that plays in SIBA is important to me. Every single person that steps into that discourse. I just want to put that out there. Enough with that nonsense, bro, about me trying to fit in. Like that's the stupidest way to fucking look at things, bro. Just the stupidest way to look at things.
Can I say something, Feature?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I've been to SIBA for a grip. I ain't gonna lie. At first, my first impression of SIBA, which was a couple 2Ks ago, I ain't fuck with it. I'm gonna be real. I
Now
was
you
one of the
you
one of,
got kicked out for not showing up to a losing team,
right,
so
because
you're
I
one
ain't
of those
because like
people.
I said, I didn't take it as serious, and we've grown since then. We being fair.
Kim, stop making it about you, bro.
Jay, shut the fuck up, please. God damn.
Get to the point, Cal.
What I'm saying is that the talent pool is increased, and it's so much talent in SIBA now to the point where it's not a free ride to win. 'Cause it used to be easy as fuck. You can get a decent little couple guys and just run through SIBA.
You ain't
There,
won since Dynasty, bro.
hey, can you kick him off the shit, bro?
Yeah, it's,
Who's that,
I'm
Tuck?
not in the mood to be trolled right now. I'm
no,
trying to get
you
some
know, they
important
said, yeah,
information.
we can leave that shit for after. Like, we'll be a little serious right now. Come on.
All right. So what I'm saying is that the talent pool has been increased so much that it's very hard to win in here. It's very hard to win in SIBA because there's so much talent and there's so much unknown talent too, to the point where people are starting to blow up by winning in here because there's so many good people in here, so that if you're able to overcome those good people, you're getting looked at as being some of the better players on the game, which is like wow, Kasiba has that much pull on the community now. Because every time I go somewhere in pro am, I'm seeing an SOE, or I'm talking people talking about SIBA High School and college and all type of shit. I'm like that. I'm like, okay, so yeah, Feaston really branched out. He didn't got to all types of people. But what I'm saying, the big point is that people are getting names off of SIBA.
Mhm.
People are getting high, like I'm talking about like the highest level of notice because of SIBA.
No,
Like
I
you're gonna
agree.
start pretty soon. You're gonna start seeing WR champs and all these other places, all these other big leagues that everyone takes serious. You're gonna see them full of SIBA guys that are dominating them pretty soon.
No,
Especially
I think
post
SIBA
draft.
has been growing pretty well. You said say again, Feach?
I said, especially during post draft when like the best players are in the league, and you know what happens in post draft, right? A lot of these guys have felt like they were snubbed. They don't want to load up anymore, and that just like opens the door for a lot of these guys, bro. Like to just come in, in my opinion, like it becomes like, well, if you don't want it, I'll take it. Like
Mm-hmm.
the whole jump, like I guess the kid Buke was pissed that he didn't get drafted, so he kind of like took a step back. He's not motivated to play post draft right now. I don't blame him if you put so much work into it, you feel like you got unfairly snubbed. Like who wants if you just spent like 5 hours building a sandcastle and a wave just kind of knocked it down. Like, do you really want to start all over again right away? Like, you just want to take a break and reflect, right? But when guys take that kind of break and they step back, that opens up to these guys that are hungry, right? That opens up to the guys that you never heard of before. Now, now like the Val one of ones and shit like that are coming out of nowhere, and the no visions and shit, and they start playing with fucking glue guys, and then they go off from glue. Like listen, that's what happened to Dynasty. Like Dynasty was not a no name guy, but like he was known as like a good pro am player, but not on the
Mm-hmm.
level like where he was going to the league, right? And what happened with him? He played in SIBA, right? Through SIBA, he won a championship his rookie season with Kemp. That's
And
who was
and
talking
not to
before.
cut you off, Feast, but and Dynasty came in with me and Siba, and I seen the growth in him, and he been doing pretty good too.
If
And
listen, follow the timeline with him. So we joined like before SIBA, he was just playing like other leagues. He was mostly like a UBL overnight draft player, like always in the UBL shit, right? And then when he got to SIBA and he won and he played well here, he met Coobs and joined the Glue guys. Like the Glue, there's like a whole pipeline from like SIBA to the Glue guys, and you go from Glue guys to something else, right? And you go to something more competitive. So he played for the Glue guys for a little while. Met Lazy, who's been in SIBA for a while, right? Lazy, who runs Spicy Boys. Lazy scouted him off the Glue guys, paired him with Tutok, and now the rest is history. Both those guys in the 2K League, right? I'm not going to take credit for guys going to the 2K League, but if you follow the timeline, right? How much different do you think these guys' careers would be if they never played here? If they never met Coobs, if they never played for the Glue guys, if they never met Lazy. They might have met Lazy later on, but not as soon as they did to start catching fire post draft 23 and then pre draft 24. It might have taken them a while for them to they would have to build themselves up, especially Tutok, who really didn't play anywhere else. He played here and then he started finding people that liked his game and they started throwing him on teams for like overnights and middays and stuff. And the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? So like a lot of guys, this was like a launching pad for a lot of these guys.
Right. Let me say something, and then I'm gonna take off. I think you gave me a lot to think about. I think SIBA. I think what our conversation here is gonna force a lot of leagues to start being a lot more structured, just because they see like the trajectory that SIBA's going in now. Before you go, everybody goes on the SIBA sermon. I see the congregation is coming together now in the speaking booth, so I'm gonna take off. But it definitely gave me a lot to think about. I think it's gonna be an exciting post draft. I definitely gonna take a look at the platinum tier again and how I want to go about the partner situation. And the biggest thing is that leagues do got to become more structured. So before the sermon comes, bro, I'm gonna take off. I appreciate y'all. Follow me on Twitch, Gay92K. Y'all been love, man. Thanks for having me, man.
All right, thank you, bro. That's Yay Not Gaming, former 2K League champ and the creator.
Okay, cool.
Of the.
They was about to start going crazy, man.
I had to defend you. I had to defend you, yeah. I had to defend you, bro. I'll fuck with you.
It's about to be a SIBA seance.
You leaving right before you.
SIBA seance in there, dog.
You're leaving right before.
Bro,
you're leaving.
I'm getting out of there.
You're leaving right before.
But he made a lot of good points, though. Like he made a lot of really good
I don't
points.
think he can hear us.
I think leagues do gotta really look at the structure of what they have set up.
He doesn't know he's still inside. He's on the stream.
A lot of leagues are just like making a lot of bread up, like roster switches.
Let's hear this.
Roster switches. They're making a lot of leagues off just like money off just teams just signing up, and then like it doesn't really get exciting until in person play. So and then with SIBA, like what they've been doing, they're just kind of going all year round. Seems like it's been fairly structured. They're doing really well. So I think that gives a lot of teams to think about. And then in terms of like how I want to do the partner tiers, I'm gonna have to reevaluate it.
Damn right.
I do want to roll it out soon. I might
shit.
Roll it out the way I have it set up for now, just to see what happens and see how things look. That way, I at least have a data sample based off the idea I had. He won't like it. SIBA won't like it, but
probably not.
I need to at least take a look at it and see how it shifts the community and how people respond to it. I wanted to say all that in there, but I felt like I was getting interrupted a decent amount, and it was more people coming in to ask questions, so I didn't want to soak up too much time. But I definitely want to have it the way I have it set up now. See how it looks 4 weeks in February. Look at it again, and probably reevaluate things and start taking a different approach to things. Just because right now I just kind of want to get it off the ground, you know what I mean? So you're still on Spaces Genius? Oh, am I? Oh, fuck. Hold on.
Yeah, bro. You still in here, man?
I'm not logged in anywhere.
You in here, bro? We was chilling. We was listening to your monologue.
You gotta wait, but you ain't. You gotta wait, but you ain't get away, man. We locked the door on you. You can't leave yet.
Yo, shut up, Bleed Buck.
Now you can't leave.
This is fucking crazy.
Now you can't leave, bro. You gotta like it for you to leave.
Coach Buck here, bud.
Like it's like it's fucking
Hey, yeah,
bronze
you don't
tale.
just leave when you want with SIBA, bro. You leave when we tell you, bro.
I gotta give him a follow on
Hey Kim, can we talk about how you haven't won since Dynasty, bro?
Damn, Jay, it's like that.
No, I'm trolling.
I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in a great mood today. Just chill, man. Come on, man.
But I
Who
listen,
you got though?
honestly, I
Because
think
I mean, a lot of you niggas haven't won at all.
listen. Before you guys start slinging mud, I just want to say I think it was a productive. I don't think it was bad. Bad. So I want
I
you
think
guys.
we scared him away.
No, I don't know if you scared him away. I think I don't listen. The impression I get from Ye, he's a soft-spoken guy. He's not like me. Like doesn't have that strong personality to handle a bunch of people like coming at him and trolling. So like I think he was having a good time. He wanted to get out of there before like cause like Buck started setting the tone. He was kind of in his head. He's probably like, yo. If all these SIBA dudes are like Buck, I'm just gonna get fucking my ass ripped. You know what I'm saying? Like before that happens, I just want to get out of there. He's not like he doesn't come off as the type of dude that's like he's gonna go to war and start arguing. You know what I'm saying? I think he's
Nah, he's real chill.
you
He's
know
real
yeah
chill.
he's too chill for that. So it's like he got what he wanted to say and he dipped out of there before shit started getting crazy on him. You know what I mean? So, but I think it was productive. I just want to know like, do you guys feel like I went easy on him? You think I kept his feet to the fire? Like, what do you guys think when I was speaking to him?
I think you were pretty, like straight up. I think this time you were more open minded to hearing what he had to say rather than before where you're like, you know how you get when you get all hyped up. You know what I mean? You're not really listening, and you're listening to react, not listening to respond. You know what I mean?
No,
Um,
like, nah. What I'm trying to say is like, do you think that does anybody think that I went soft on him, or like, do you think that like
Nah, I didn't. Nah, you didn't go soft. You're more. I feel like this was a more productive conversation. You heard his side,
I
and
feel like you
and
let
he
him
heard
live.
yours.
I feel like you let him live sometimes, Feach. I'm
well,
not gonna lie to
listen,
you,
I
bro.
wasn't gonna go in there and start ripping on him, but like at the same time, like
No, I know.
I didn't want to like, is there anything you guys think I left out?
Nah, I think you. I mean, I think you got pretty much up. I think you really did give him a lot to think about. Like I said, you had a real productive conversation. And even with the people from your side speaking, they didn't troll him too hard. Um, and like I said, I really think he heard a lot to what you had to say. I mean, at the end of the day, you guys are grown men, so it could be one ear out the other. But I think y'all really heard his side of how he did things. And yeah, you may have had your disagreements or whatever, but you understood from his point, and then he also understood where you're coming from, and also with the testimonies by like me and like a couple other people, like how big SIBA really is.
I think it went well. You know what I'm saying? Like I think it went well. I did bring up the whole tier system, right? Like, I mean, I didn't go easy on him there. I didn't let him escape. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, like I explained, like I felt like that. Like I told him, like I feel like you guys are definitely on a different level than any draft league I've ever played in, and I've played in a lot. I played in CDL, I played in LOA, I played in Shaw, I played in. I'm in the select this year, and like as far as structure
Hey,
and
Blitz, I
being,
got a question for you, bud.
what's up?
So now that he's not here, why do you think SIBA's not platinum again? Can you explain that again?
Yeah, I can be
let,
honest. I think
yeah, let him
from
talk.
like I said, when I'm listening to Ye, like, cause I talked to Ye like in his stream, like not stream in his Discord about like what he's looking for because like, you got to remember he's been in the league. You know what I mean? So he personally knows what these like coaches and stuff are looking for. And when he says that, I'm like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. Like like but he also isn't going off your whole SIBA thing. You know what I mean? Like you have playground, you have college, you have pros. He's not watching all of that. So I also understand like, okay, you're not really locked into the whole league that is SIBA. So if you're not gonna lock in on that, I can see why it's not platinum in your eyes. You know what I mean? So I can understand why you put it there. I'm not saying SIBA isn't a plat. Like I said, I think SIBA is on a level of its own. You know what I mean? Like I haven't seen a league as structured, as oriented, as real disciplined when it comes to not dealing with the troll shit and the bad bitch egos and all that.
Well,
So that's why I said I
listen.
think SIBA's on its own tier.
I'm not really concerned with listen. You can have it. I don't get offended with people's opinions about the league. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't care if you think it's platinum You have every right to believe what you believe. It doesn't bother me. I'm not mad at you for it. Like, as a matter of fact, I don't get enough people to disagree with me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes I don't get enough of that shit. Like, sometimes I'm
That shit
looking
was
for.
just weird though when he wouldn't answer me straight up if we had to pay to be platinum or not.
Because
That kind of pissed me off.
you know what it is? I think why he wasn't answering that straight is because he knows, right? Like, I think when he made this thing, he had it in his head like, yo, this is how it's gonna go. So I'm gonna make these platinum tiers and stuff like that. I'm gonna make tiers for players, tiers for leagues, right? And when I do this, it's gonna be big content, and it's gonna be something I can do on the side that I can, like, make a little hustle off of. It's gonna be big, blah blah blah. And when I do it, like, I'm gonna have an idea for leagues where if they want to partner up, they'll get preferred treatment. And I don't think that he saw it as a way when he was doing that. Maybe he did, I don't know, but I don't think he saw it in a way that was like he was doing anything wrong about it. He just thought like, hey, this is usually what happens out there, And I think having a conversation about it, like, listen, nobody but me is gonna. First of all, no other league owner but me is gonna talk to him about this shit, right? They're not gonna have a spaces with him or anything. All these other leagues are just gonna, blow him on the timeline and beg and like, yo, can I partner with you? Like, how much does it cost for me to get platinum? Like, nobody's gonna challenge because nobody really challenges. Like, like when Glue Guy's message like, yo, are we gonna have anybody from Select to come in here and talk? Ed was like, no. Like, these dudes, like, they think that like they're above the conversation, right? Like, they think that like, oh, we don't engage in the competition. We do our own thing. We support everybody. Like, it's all kumbaya, And I've said this before. Like, it's no coincidence that the people in this community, especially like the league owners and stuff, that are passive, that don't really see competition and don't see it that way, are the ones that are falling behind, and are so far behind because you just don't like. I think you need a killer instinct. You know what I'm saying? I think you need to have a strong fuck you personality that sees everything like a competition, right? In order to grow and succeed in this environment, Because like I said it before, anybody with a smartphone that's got access to high-speed internet and that downloads Discord could make a league. So you have a tank full of fucking goldfish, 1 million fucking goldfish. And if you drop me in there, and I'm another goldfish just like them, my league's going to look just like everybody else's, right? But the problem is I got dropped in as a shark. And the goldfish don't like the sharks, And like, nobody from WR Select was going to come in here and fucking enter the Shark Tank, bro. Nobody was going to do it. Why? They don't have the personality for it. They don't got the balls for it. And what are they going to do? What can they really say? There's nothing that they can say. Like, it's not like they have something to bring to the table that's like, yo, I'm going to show SIBA what we got, and it's going to beat them. Like, they're just going to have to sit there and accept their spot. Like, they're going to have to sit there and, like, I would have them justify, why do you think you're on the same tier as us? And they won't have anything. You know what I'm saying? So why even get involved in the conversation? What you want to do is you want to pretend like you're above it, right? You want to pretend like, Feach is divisive, we're more mature, like, you're just an old dude. Like, what did that Pookie kid say on Twitter? Like, you're just an old head, nobody takes serious, bro. We're better than that. We're moving on. Like, you can look professional and be better than that, but your league is still ass in comparison, right? And whose fucking league is killing it? The old head who's loud, who's unprofessional, who sees everything as a competition, who's divisive. You think it's a fucking coincidence? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like, I went and defended my shit against fucking, what's his face? That 4010s. As irrelevant as that shit was. It was a fucking 10s chat. And I still went after him. Like, you know what I'm saying? You drop my name, you gonna get, I'm gonna give you the attention you're looking for. You're not gonna like it afterwards. And look, after a week after fucking coming at me, that shit folded. Right? So it's like, bro, like, if you don't, and a few people have messaged me saying, yo, maybe you should calm down, right? Like, maybe you should calm down. Oh, fuck. My fault. I disconnected from the space for a second. I was saying, like, people say, yo, maybe you should calm down, bro. It looks bad how you getting loud on the time. No, none of the other leagues are talking the shit that you're talking. I'm like, yo, do you want me to be like them, bro? Do you want SIBA to be like that? Like, I'm sorry these dudes don't ride for their brand and their people as hard as I do, but it's never gonna happen here. Like, there's never gonna be a time, as long as I'm running this league, where I'm not gonna go fucking full force. That's just the way it goes, bro. Like, That's just the way I see it. But I like the conversation that we had. I think he's a good dude. I think he's doing, I think he's making good content. He's one thing he's right about. Man, this post draft desperately needed. And I'm gonna be straight up, bro. Like he can disagree all he wants, but I mean, I should have said this when he was here. It wasn't on my mind. I said it to Jay Keith when he called me on the phone earlier today. I said, "Yo, this is what it looks like when you involve SIBA. Like for all the people that talk the shit, like, yo, if he's trying to get in good with the 2K community, bro, they need me in here. They need me in here. Without me and this league, bro, that would have been just another list that was going to get a bunch of retweets and nothing else. Like last year when he made his 2K database, right? When he was supposed to be scouting players and players had to pay money to get their scout. That shit had a buzz for about 2 weeks and nobody, bro, Chicken Lock was a fucking scout. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a bunch of people like, who the fuck are these guys to scout me? No disrespect. But, like, you weren't getting any top-tier scouts or coaches or GMs with any 2K League experience. You just found a bunch of dudes that were known, that had a lot of followers, that had time on their hands to do it. Like, who are you? Like, who are you to write the scouting report on me? What do you know? You know what I'm saying? Those type of people. Like, that shit didn't go anywhere with that scouting shit. But now with the tiers, we got involved. SIBA got involved. We made spaces about it. It's getting a lot of fucking momentum and everything. And that's what it looks like, bro. Like, that's what it looks like when we're involved, right? Because this league it's a movement, bro. It's a machine, right? That's what this fucking league is. It's a goddamn machine. So you want the machine involved. You want us involved, you know? Like, I can't imagine anybody saying, yo, come on to space and defend your brand. No. I'm not arrogant. First of all, if you're from Select and you think that you're above defending your shit to us when it comes to this tier shit, bro, you have no fucking justification for any sort of ego or any sort of, like, confidence. Like, you should be taking advantage of the spotlight 100. You should be using this opportunity to generate some sort of buzz. Not like it's going to help. But, like, there's no way in hell you think there's no way in hell you think not coming on and speaking up is taking the high road. That makes you look better. It don't, bro. It makes you look like you don't belong. It just, bro, it solidifies everything that I've been saying. You just don't belong in the same tier as us at all. None of those leagues do. And if you got, I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't have, some of those people that run these other leagues, bro, I like them. Like, I started talking to Fury, who runs that, what was it, CDL, College Draft League? Like, I mean, I think he's a cool dude, you know? Some of these guys are cool, you know, they got a vision, they love what they do, they love their league, and all that stuff. Like, they're not bad people. I'm not here to bash nobody. But at the same time, bro, like, listen, you're in the fish tank right along with me. You know, that's just the way I say it. We're in the same tank. You know, kind of. I think about it like this: like, we can be boys off the field, but once we're playing against each other and it's the Super Bowl or whatever, like, I'm looking to hit you, bro. Like, I'm looking to fucking lower my shoulder pads and blast you. We're all on the same. When you're in the draft league scene, we're all on the same field, bro. And I'm looking to put my shoulder down and just smash the shit out of you when you come over the middle. Where's first half J at, bro? Can y'all still hear me or no? I talking to
Yeah,
you?
we hear you.
Oh,
You kind of low though.
Oh, my fault. Summer of Ball just followed me. That's another league, I guess. Draft events and tournaments. Wow, they've been around for a while. Well, that's cool. Pro-Am Draft League. Best of luck. I just hope that you guys,
Pete, stop disrespecting WR Select, man. That's good league, man.
bro, I wouldn't say a word about them if we were in the same tier, bro. Like, if we were in a tier by ourselves doing what we were doing, and and everybody else is where they belong, I wouldn't have said a fucking word, bro. Honestly.
I'm an MVP in WR Select and MVP in Super.
There you go. Like, and you're nowhere near an MVP here, but if you're an MVP there, that's all you need to know. Trust me, I don't. I'm not the type of person that bashes the league because they have no competitive players. Like SIBA was like that for a long ass time, and I didn't even care, bro. We were just having fun. So to me, like when it's like, there's no good players that play there. Like, believe it or not, having good players that play in your league, bro, that's not what makes a league. That's not what makes your league. What makes your league is participation, right? What makes your league is who's people loading up. Like, listen, you load up and you come into SIBA and you loading up and you're playing and you finish out a season, right? You give me the opportunity to create so much more content, right? You create opportunities for me to expand, and add more teams to the league, add an all-star game. Like, participation level is the most important. Is way more important than competition level. It is. Like, you can have a million villain Troys in here, bro, and I promise you, this would be a better league than any league that had a bunch of 2K League players in it and a bunch of comp players, like a fucking Meter Dunk, who I just had a ban today. Give me a million villain Troys, bro, and if they're low, and I'm telling you, bro, the comp showed up. The comp came, hated it. It wasn't like PBA. It wasn't like Select. We're out of here. This old head doesn't know what he's doing, bro. Whatever, all the shit that I heard. They left. The league was still popping. They couldn't get runs anywhere. They slowly tucked their heads down, put their hoodies over their heads, ducked down, and just walked in the back and sat down and started playing again. That's what happened.
I think everybody, like every league player besides Don, had a good SIBA experience.
No, I don't think so. I don't think Spam. Listen, I don't think Spam really had a good experience. I think Spam came in here thinking it was going to be easy and troll, and he found out that there's a bunch of sweats, and he wasn't really willing to put that much effort or dedication into playing here. And he found out quickly that if I'm not going to take it serious, I'm not going to be competitive here. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what happened to Spam. Not that he's not good enough to play here, but he just figured like, SIBA's not the place where I'm going to come in and get hyper focused and stressed.
That was the closest error. Mad Voltage sold that.
Well, Matt Volters is a moron for fucking trading for that dude and then keeping his backup point guard with a first-round pick that nobody would spend for. Like, you think that Sincerely kid's a first-round talent, yet you traded and benched him. Like, that's the weirdest thing in the world. But like, some of these coaches are fucking out of this world brains.
I think that's what happened, Jay. I think he was drafted in the second. I'm not sure though.
I'm pretty sure he was drafted in the second, but Voltage don't have a second, does he?
No, I think he was drafted in the first round, bro. Who was his first round pick?
Nah, no fucking. Nah, I don't think he was drafted in the first.
Bro, there's no reason to speculate. I'll just go to season 22 and go all the way up to
No, he was drafted pick 8 in the second round.
We need a Mad Voltage.
Exactly. See?
Yeah, pick 8 in the second round.
So he was picked in the
Pick
second.
1 round 8. Pick 8 round.
He was picked.
Voltage
He was picked in the second. So wait a minute. So he was picked in the second round, and instead of using the second round, now he's got to keep it with a first round pick because he traded the second round pick for Spam, who was on 3 different. Bro, he's been traded 6 times. That dude, between SIBA and the 2K League, the dude has been traded 6 fucking times in the year 2024. That has to be some of the worst GMing that I have ever seen in my life.
Stressful,
now he's got, send him back into the draft and see if you get it with a third. I don't think anybody was picking Sincerely Q in the first 3 rounds. And to be honest with you, if they would have did it off the strength of what he did this season. And we don't even know what he did this season because he got benched. Like, nobody knows what if you were really thinking about drafting Sincerely Q in these top rounds going into the season 23 draft, it would have to be based on what he did his rookie season in SIBA. Like, if he came in as a rookie and he played like guard Don or Jack Threes, All right, but we didn't even get to see what he can do in the pro level because he got benched by his coach for spam. That is the most honestly, Voltage should just go apply to be a 2K League GM because that's the type of stupidity that they have over there with these fucking moves. Like he'll fit right in with that stupidity. Like that shit is crazy, bro. Like if you sit down and think about this for a second, you draft a rookie point guard 40th overall, right? Which in this league now is a first round pick because it's 40 picks in the first round. But it's a second round. You pick him with the 40th pick, which is a second round keeper. You then trade away your second round pick for Spam, who would then be your third team. He didn't win anything with Wu Gambinos. Went to a fucking bad team, didn't win anything there, barely showed up, and you trade from him here and couldn't help you win it all here, and you just gave away your second round pick. So then you have to go and use your first round pick for the second round pick that you benched when you traded away that pick for Spam. That, I don't know what kind of mental gymnastics you have to do for that to make sense in your brain. But fuck, I think somebody said it in the SIBA, I think Stitch said it, or official. SIBA's not going to blow up with how many stupid coaches we have, and that is fuck, bro. I've said it a million times. There's one thing that's really holding SIBA back, and no, it's not my loud ass mouth. It's not the fact that I came on here and started shitting on Select. There's nothing to fucking do with that. I can shit on them all I want. It's not going to affect anything we do. And it's got nothing to do with me. It's got to do with the coaches that we have in the pros just making weird decisions without thinking them through. Because then you get stuck. Like, all right, so Sincerely Q now is your point guard. You're not going to pick until the third round. So
I think we need a performance review.
So that pick, but listen, that player that gets picked in the third round is going to look at his point guard and be like, yo, I don't know if you're, I know you got kept with the first round. I don't know if you're first round. I have no confidence in you right now because you got benched last season and we didn't get to see what you can do. It's a different thing if, like, we knew, Sincerely Q's been in the SIBA for like 5 or 6 seasons. He's a baller. But, like, last season was his rookie season. He barely played because he got benched. Now he's your first round keeper at point guard. You're a lock getting drafted in the third round. You're like, oh shit. Where the fuck did I just get drafted to? We had no second round pick. This is going to be a fucking shit season. And it doesn't mean it's going to be a shit season. Sincerely Q can go out there and be a consensus fucking top 3 candidate for MVP. He could be another famous Amos. The point is, for a first round keeper, you don't know. You have no clue. I'm not turning this into a bash Sincerely Q thing here. That's not what I'm trying to do. What I'm saying is, from this standpoint, when you talk about unproven talent, bro, you should have just went with. Listen, you had Trey Dollars and Can't Guard Rob on your team. Like, if Sincerely Q couldn't survive or succeed with those 2 UPA champions on his team, then you already know right off the bat he's not worth to be kept. So why would you trade away your second round pick, bench him for Spam? Like, you picked this guy as your point guard. Like, now you got to hope. Now, right? Like, listen, last season, follow the logic here, guys, and somebody tell me where I'm wrong. I'm just trying to use sports logic. You draft a dude in the second round and you paired him up with Trey Dollars and Can't Guard Rob, right? Like, you would consider, hey, a rookie point guard, like a rookie quarterback in the NFL, and you give them, like, Saquon Barkley and Tyreek Hill, like, right, and a great offensive line. Like, they're set up for way more success. Look at Bryce Young compared to C.J. Stroud. One was set up for success with the tools around him. The other was fucking, led to slaughter, right? And one of them played well and went to the playoffs. The other one looked like shit. You gave your rookie point guard Trey Dollars and Can't Guard Rob. They just won $30,000 at the UPAs, right? That's who you gave them. Those are the players that you put around them. You got to stick with that guy. You got to play that whole shit out. Because if he can't succeed with them, then you already know, well, he's not worth the second round pick. Send him back. You don't know that about him yet. Now you got to hope. Now you don't have a first round pick. You got to hope he's everything you thought, and he's got to win with way less talent. If he would have went out there and balled the fuck out with those guys, right? And he was like, yo, as long as I put these players around Sincerely Q, we're going to win. You don't know a goddamn thing about what Sincerely Q is capable of at the SIBA Pro level. You have no fucking clue. If you're Ferry Bowl Killers, you are walking into season 3 blindfolded and no fucking plan, nothing, bro. Just relying on luck and maybe getting a lottery pick. And what happens if you get a lottery pick and you get like a top 4 or 5 pick? You're sending Sincerely Q back into the draft again, because if this season is a disaster, there's no way you can justify keeping him with a top 5 pick. You're starting all over again. Bro, it was just bad all around. It was just bad all around. And you guys wonder why I reject so many trades. I have to protect the league from stupidity like this, bro. I have to protect the league. Like, I'm looking back at that trade and I'm like, bro, I should have never approved that. You guys thought I shouldn't have approved the trade because you were like, what were you guys saying? Yo, you gave Trey dollars and can't guard Rob Spam? Oh, just give him the championship. Bro, they look like shit. The kid Spam, he couldn't even get on the court. He didn't look good. That team did not have any chemistry at all. They got their dicks kicked in the playoffs. They got beat by the... Bro, SIBA lit them up in the regular season with shadow boxers. You guys thought I shouldn't have approved the trade because I was giving them a souped-up team with Trey Dollars and Spam and Rob. I'm looking at the trade like, bro, that shit just crippled this fucking team. I gotta be, bro, every season goes by, I start getting more and more strict with the trades because you guys keep giving me reason to be strict with the trades. Like, you guys keep doing things that are just like off the wall ridiculous. It's fucking nuts. And the crazy thing is, you guys don't learn from the other coaches' mistakes. You'll make the same stupid ass mistakes. Now, how did you guys like me name dropping Meter Dunk? I told Jay Keith I was gonna do that. I set that shit up perfect. They got Meter Dunk in platinum, and he's over there bullshitting saying he's a center only. Come on, man. And I got Meter Dunk in my DMs with paragraphs bitching. Bro, I don't want to hear it. What I don't understand is, like, you've been in SIBA for a long time. You know what you're signing up for. Just don't play. Look, Asta will never get on a draft board of mine again. He said he can't play, doesn't have any time. He's in every fucking overnight and tens list. He's just too soft to play here. I'm more along the lines of now, like, I'm not kicking guys out of the Discord anymore. I'm going to retire you and never let you on the draft board again because I need you as a fan. Like, if you get, like, I shouldn't have kicked Meter Dunk out of the Discord. Maybe I'll bring him back. But he'll never get on my draft board again. He can linger in the Discord as a fan. Like, he can hang out, be in league chat because he's a veteran, watch the streams. Like, I'm going to start turning these deadbeats into just fans only. Only fans. That's what I'm going to do. I'll make a tag in the Discord called OnlyFans. And when I feel like you're too much of a fucking deadbeat or a pussy to ever be on my draft board again, I'm going to give you the OnlyFans tag. And from then on, you're going to be only a fan. No more kicking you out of Discord unless you're completely disruptive. Right? You're a deadbeat, you want to act like that, you're going to get the OnlyFans tag. That way, when I see your OnlyFans tag, I know, bro, just only keep his dude as a fan. It was a fun Spaces. It was. Still is. He only
Yo, what's good, Feeds?
Yo, what up?
Yo, is Matt Volge getting a coach review after this season then?
We're gonna see.
I think that calls for a performance review. If you ask me.
I think we got an early one right now.
I think we're gonna take a look at what his team does after the season.
Guy's a bud.
And we'll see what his record is. But yeah, I mean, like that. My thing is, I kind of understand where Voltage was coming from. You know, you went swinging for the fences. You know, you had 2 superstar players on your team to go add Spam to the mix if he's available, right? You know, it's going to look like another 2-talk and unguardable situation. So I understand his mentality, but I just think he went I don't think he was built for that. because his players were going back into the draft. Like his players were leaving. Like he wasn't retain. He couldn't keep Trey Dollars and can't guard Rob. He could keep can't guard Rob, but he couldn't keep Trey Dollars or Spam. Those guys are gone now. So it's like you keep can't guard Rob with a first round pick. You got no point guard, right? So he kind of screwed himself. He swung for the fences. He completely whiffed, and now he's stuck. So I understood what his mentality was. It's why I allowed it to go down. But like in hindsight, thinking about that deal, nah, bro, that was just a bad. It was just a bad deal all around, bro. Just a bad move. When I'm in a position where I gotta protect my league against the stupidity of coaches, bro, it's.
Yo, who's the first coach to reach in the draft?
Who's the first coach to reach in this season?
Yes.
Oh, I gotta take a look. If you want to make a safe money bet, it's always gonna be Harlem, right? But he doesn't pick till 16. So
Yeah.
Who's picking?
I'm gonna say number 10.
I think I'm gonna say number 1. I think Gonzi with his first draft. I think he's gonna get cute. I think he's gonna get cute and pick something.
About that OnlyFans thing. You gotta make Sorrento one too. He's not built coach anymore. Playing all these other leagues.
Listen, he's not a coach, but he could play as long as he's playing. He's coach enough. I care about the ones that are, that like the meter dunks, bro. Like, listen, you just don't belong on the draft board, bro. I brought him up by name, bro. I mentioned that dude by name. Oh,
like Mini Fade?
Let me bring it. My man, meter doink. Yo, doink. Did you hear I gave you a shout out on the stream, bro, and on YouTube and on Ye stream?
Nah, I was I couldn't make it, but
you didn't hear it?
Nah, I wasn't here. What was the word?
So I gave you a huge shout out because Ye Not Gaming is doing his like tiers and lists, right?
Yeah, I was on it. I think.
So I was like, yo, you got I said, yo, let me ask. I asked him a question. I gave him a scenario. I said, yo, let's say you got a player that was like on like a sports team list, right? I was like a fringe 2K league point guard that that was just missed getting drafted or whatever, and like is considered like a top player in post draft. And for years, all he's ever played is point guard, right? And now he's on a draft league team where he doesn't want to be on, so he's crying, trying to say I'm only playing center. I was like, I asked him, what do you think about a player like that? And in so many words, he's like, yeah, that type of player is pussy. I said, well, that's meter dunk that you got ranked platinum, and he was like, really? I was like, yeah, bro. So like,
okay,
your platinum. I'm just gonna let you know right now, like, don't expect
And JC, he also said he gonna bring you back. He gonna bring you back and have you retire for the entire time you're in the course.
And call you an OnlyFans.
I would listen. Honestly, I would expect like what you want to do is like, yo, keep posted for those database lists because you might get knocked back a tier. Because
if I get knocked back, I get knocked back. What I wanted to say though, Feach, is one, that's not true. When I joined SIBA, I was a lock. You can go scroll up.
How many years ago was that, bro? How many years ago was that? It doesn't matter what you were
that
joining.
Was 2K22.
It doesn't fucking matter. Okay, we're in 2K24 right now. You play point guard everywhere. You think that you're the first dipshit that's tried this? Come on. What do you think? I've had thousands of people in this league, bro.
No. Feach. You making it like a thing. I'm trying to let me explain my side first. I'm telling you, like I'm having just played point guard. You see me in leagues.
You're not playing center, bro.
With my team.
You're not playing center.
Yeah, the out of position leagues.
Get the fuck
I played.
It's not
I played. I can show you a screenshot. I just loaded up for Liquid. I loaded up a series.
But wait. Okay, Devil just sent me a screenshot. You told Outlet if he picked you up, you load point guard for him.
First of all, I told Outlet I wanted to play.
This is why we need, bro.
That's not true.
Hold on, wait a second.
Not true.
Hold on, wait a second. Buck, wait a second. Buck, you pissing me off right now, though, Buck, because where the fuck is the Talking Head show? why are you dropping this type of shit in a space? We need this for the fucking stream, bro. Like, stop. You wasting all the good shit for a space.
Oh, you
Yo,
That's not
bro,
even, bro.
I need somebody to stream it for me.
That's not.
You
Listen,
do it.
listen.
Yo, why y'all
Feast,
doing
what's
it?
crazy? Yesterday, Buck, I'm on 36 teams as a keeper, and Buck loaded me up, and Older God gave me a private workout. He's trying to
Listen, Feach,
That was
I
a
didn't.
compromise, dickhead.
Hold on. Feach, I did not want to play point guard in general and SIBA. I wanted to play shooting guard or center. And Devo and now Devo came back being coach. And this thing, he got outlet out. I don't know what the hell happened. You get Devo, you get
No,
outlet
I
out, and
didn't.
now
What
Devo
happened?
back.
What happened was Sorrento stepped down as coach, so I had an opening. So I wasn't going to get rid of Outlet after I just gave him a team. So I figured I'd just give Devo Sold his old team back, and then let Outlet start fresh with a new with a different team. Like I just keep the continuity going, right? So that's what happened. You know, if Sorrento didn't step down, Devo Soul would have still been back in the draft. You know what I'm saying? But like that happened. I needed a coach. You know, it was out of necessity that I gave him the team back. But regardless, it doesn't matter who ended up coaching the team again. You know, it didn't matter, bro. That's not supposed to matter to you. You're supposed to load up and play. Like I don't understand. Like
All right.
listen. I understand you don't have a competitive bone in your body. We've established that already. Like for a long
That
time.
I mean that doesn't make sense
But
because I
at the
won.
same but at the same
But I
time,
won in the league
I know
though.
you won
But I
season. I
won.
know you won. I know you did win. You won.
What did you win at? Point guard?
But listen. But here's the difference between
We were in double fours. I was
here
guarding ball.
here.
I was guarding ball and
No,
playing guard.
here's the
I was
difference.
guarding ball.
Here's the difference between
Point guard.
when you won then and now. See, then nobody really was paying attention to you outside of SIBA as far as like potential
That's not
2K
true
League
either.
point
That,
guard.
I ain't
I
gonna lie.
don't.
I ain't gonna lie. Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
Wait, so
That's not true.
wait. So season
I
six.
ain't gonna hold.
Hold on, wait a second. You guys are saying no, right? Do you guys know when season 16 of SIBA was? What month and year?
It was January
It was January of what?
of last year
Okay.
of whatever last 2K was. It was January.
Okay, so you were considered a draft league. You were considered a 2K League prospect last January because I went to the draft. I didn't hear your
No,
name
I,
mentioned
I
at
didn't.
all.
I didn't make the pool. I didn't even go for the
Okay,
league last year.
that's one of the biggest differences. When
But
you
people knew who I
so
was
I
because I
listen.
played
Of
good.
course, people knew who you was, but you weren't. Sports Team didn't put you on a fucking list for that draft, bro. Because I was at the draft. I know.
That doesn't mean that I wasn't like a
What I'm
good player
saying,
or people knew I was.
what I'm saying is
Hey,
nowadays.
let's.
Now what I'm saying is now you're on that. You got a
Listen,
little
if
bit
you
more of
ain't
an
good
ego.
in SIBA, you ain't good nowhere, JC.
That's pretty much
Yo,
it.
can you stop? Yo, JC, when you started playing with State Mafia?
Last
You
year,
don't even
about
play with
January
me.
time.
Most definitely.
Right. Around the time you won the championship here. So when you won the championship here, you were still on the rise coming up. You weren't where you are now. You weren't
I guess.
like you are now.
So
I
are
The
ain't
you
gonna
gonna
lie.
say
difference.
I ain't gonna
anything?
hold.
So
I'm
that's
not trying to take. I'm
so.
not even trying to take sides, but JC has been like he's been a good player.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Listen,
Without that season,
Dynasty
JC is
was
nobody, bro.
always known as a good player, but never
I mean, Dynasty
until
wasn't that good. I mean, I'm
no,
talking
Dynasty.
Dynasty.
Dynasty was always known as a good
Oh
player,
shit.
playing in leagues, playing in tens, playing in the. He was nowhere near where he is now, a year ago. Not even
Without
close.
SIBA.
Not even close. Not even without SIBA. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't even close. It was not even close. And I'll be honest with you, bro. Like when I watch Dynasty play, I don't really see a difference in the game from when he won with Kemper in season 17 and until now. Like I still think he's the same player skill wise. I just think now he's gotten to the point where he got on a hot team that was getting a lot of attention and it put his game right there in the forefront and they were winning. That's what that can do for you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, but as far as skill wise and game wise, like, I really didn't see that big of a leap from Dynasty. He's always been that good. He just wasn't getting that notice. Same thing with me to dunk. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you've been the same type of player wise. You know, just you weren't there yet as far as like being on anybody's list and shit outside.
Feach. I don't mean to cut you. I need to. I'm about to leave. Can I ask you what does it take for me to like get back in the league? I ain't trying to
You
be
have
set out the season.
basically the only way for you to get back in is you gotta get Devo Soul to tell me, yo, it's all good, we ironed it out, and I'll put you back as his first
Okay.
round keeper.
Okay. Cool. I'll talk to him.
You
All right.
have
Thanks,
until
Feach.
you have until the draft, which is Sunday.
I got you. I got you. You have a good day.
Yeah.
Better get those knees ready.
These big buddy,
Yo, Feach.
already.
Yo.
I think I should be the first ever player to play high school or coach high school and play the pros. What do you think?
No one
Yeah,
gives a
it's never
fuck
gonna
what you
happen.
do, bro.
It's never gonna happen.
Damn,
I
I'll
don't,
try
is that you
bro.
crazy?
You don't understand, bro. You don't understand. I don't need it. I don't want that to happen.
No,
Like,
I
but
know
I'm
you
not.
don't need it.
Like, I have
I know you
43.
don't need
I
it.
have 43 teams, and out of those 43, probably like 24 of them are gonna be active, and I'm gonna have 16 in the playoffs. So it's like I don't really need. I'm not desperate enough to make somebody be like, yo, I'll play in the pros and coach high school. Like, it's not.
I'm just curious if it's possible because
No,
they're
no,
like
we
they're the
keep it
same
separate.
league, but like
We keep it separate. Everything's separate.
that's
Like,
fair. That's
you know,
fair.
it's like, look, I want if you're gonna go down and coach high school, I want people that want to coach. Period. I don't want to play and coach. Like I'm
You
not
know
saying
I'm
that.
SOE, so I would do both.
I'm not saying that you can't play as a coach. You play when you're a coach. You play if your team needs. If you're the best shooting guard on the team and you just so happen to be the coach, yeah, you put yourself on the court. You know, but as a coach, your goal is to find players that are better than you and put them in the lineup. Like you don't want, like as a coach, you don't want to be the best
That'll
player.
be easy for Apollo.
Thanks, guys.
Very
Appreciate you.
No, listen. I'm pretty sure that if you went to high school, you'd start on the team. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, thanks.
I don't know, Pete. It'd be close.
Big compliments from Beach.
I think if you were a college coach, you'd probably start on the team. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know about that one, Pete.
I mean, you could you could be like Venom Dimes and force yourself in
Well, I mean,
the
Rare
lineup.
Snarf started in college, so I guess you probably could.
Listen, you can be like Venom Dimes and put yourself in the lineup for year after year after year and be 70 games under 500 for your career. You know, you could do that, or you could do what you got to do to win as a coach, right? Because that's how you judge as coaches.
Yeah, like Stubang. Stubang did everything he needed to.
Stubang?
Yeah, Stubang.
I remember that kid. Yeah. Then he ran his
Well, trying to run it back. You debuted him for trying to run it back.
Nah.
I get your keys to the other side. They'll lock that door to grab those 2 water bottles.
Shut the fuck up about your water bottles, bro. Nobody cares.
Hey, fuck my. Oh boy, I'm a shoot a freak at you, boy.
Yo, you know what's so crazy? I can actually do these spaces live on YouTube now, and everybody can be heard because I hooked my phone up to the Bluetooth for this. This mixer's fucking dope, bro. Like this is a dope ass mixer. I'm pretty sure that this isn't a dope mixer. Like I'm pretty sure like this is just like an average mixer and shit like that. By the way, I do have. You guys hear that?
Yeah.
You heard that?
Yeah, we heard it.
That's me, bro. Like I got shit too, bro.
Get a soundboard.
I got a soundboard. You guys don't hear what I'm doing?
Get a soundboard. Like just write a couple of them down for on. Like get Andre to say a couple. Get Andre to say like a couple of like your famous lines and get on the soundboard.
That boy keeps having too much fun in the SIBA studio, bro.
I am. Too many fucking things going on. Let me know if you guys can hear this.
Wait, when is the draft? The second or the third?
Huh?
When is the draft? The third, the second, or the third?
Wrong on both accounts. It's the 4th. It is February 4th is the draft. So you guys got until Sunday. What's today? Wednesday? You guys got until Sunday.
Oh, the draft on Sunday?
Yes, draft's on Sunday. So.
Man, why the fuck not on Saturday, man?
Because Saturday is my son's 9th birthday party, and I already had this conversation with my wife, so I lost. I can't have the draft that day. I have to be here getting the house ready for the kids and helping her clean. You're not doing no fucking draft for 3 hours in your studio while I'm out here getting the shit ready for these kids. I don't fucking think so. I didn't even go. I didn't even argue that. I said, I make it for Sunday. It is what it is. So, not beefing.
Yo, the Gallus. Method Man gonna suck with you as the coach, buddy.
Okay.
Yo, think about it. How miserable is camping? How miserable is camping right now, bro? How miserable is camping? Like, somebody sent me some posted on Twitter because I can't see him because I'm blocked. And he's like trying to promote the LGBT league, and he's getting like 1 like. Nobody's giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
Stop camera bro's the truth, man.
Wait, Feach, he's playing in the LGBTQ league?
Yeah. And like,
Listen here, y'all. If anybody wants a season starting mixtape, hit me up.
A season started. What, are you rapping now?
No. I mean, like, I make like 2K24 mixtapes.
Oh, so you just rapping about 2K?
No, like, I make edits, like the videos, like the clip dumps they
Oh,
do.
so you get the rappers to rap on your mixtape. So you make like a mixtape of rappers. I got it. So if anybody here
No,
makes music,
Feach.
bro, just hit him up. Where's Billy, bro? Billy Costa raps. Y'all never heard Billy Costa drop some bars? Yo, who was that dude that was here, bro? He was like a white hillbilly type dude, and he came in this party. This was this last year? When I found him on Looking for Group, and he would come in there, and like he was just like a real weirdo dude. And I was just yo, bust a freestyle, and he kind of sounded like Believe Buck, and he would just start rapping out of nowhere, bro. Like this white dude from like Kentucky or something. I forgot what his name was, bro. But like he was so bad at the game. Nobody wanted him. You get the tens, bro. So many fucking characters, bro. It's crazy. So many fucking characters in this shit. Anyway, I wonder what I'm gonna have for dinner. Like, do I cook something or just order something? I don't even know. Still thinking about what to do. But listen, I'm probably just gonna end this shit now because I've been on this shit for how long? 2.5 hours. It's been a long time. So let me. I'm gonna upload this to yo. You're gonna be able to find this. I'm gonna upload this shit to YouTube. So I'm gonna upload this fucking recording. You guys can watch it back, see my face and shit. I put some graphics on the screen, whatever. I'm gonna watch it back for sure. And like, if I see that like it worked with the phone with the Bluetooth through here, bro, that's gonna open up the doors for like. There's so many different things I can do for people to just call. I'll set up like a different Google Voice number to my phone, so you guys don't have my phone number. You just call a number and it goes to my phone. And we can do like call-ins to that. Shit will be dope. All right, y'all. I appreciate everybody for tuning in.
GG's, Feach.
GG's. GG's.